Mo ń pín ètò ní o, dádì.
Okay.
Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ní sà.
Àwọn nìyẹn.
Okay. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ fún mi níṣẹ́jú méjì sí mú bọ̀, a máa tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sà. Okay. Ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ́mì. Ẹ ṣé gan ni mà, à ń bọ̀ wá o. Mọ́mì Fúnmilọ́lá Bello. A kí yín mọ́ màmí. Gbogbo ilé wa ń kọ́ mọ́mì. Wọ́n ń kí yín dádì.
Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa. Ẹ ṣeun, ẹ kú àdúrótì wa.
Dádì, ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ ṣíwájú wa nínú àdúrà sà.
Okay, ẹ jẹ́ kí a gbàdúrà. Olúwa Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè, a dúpẹ́ fún ìdásí àti ààbò yín tí ẹ ti sọ wá láti ọ̀sẹ̀ tí ó kọjá, tí ẹ tún mú wa padà wá sí orí ètò wa ti èní. A dúpẹ́ tí ẹ ti fún àlàáfíà tí ẹ ń fún wa ní ìgbà gbogbo. Ǹjẹ́ à ń lọ sínú ètò yín, ẹ má ṣe wá bá wa lọ, ẹ má jẹ́ àṣìwí, ẹ jẹ́ ohun gbogbo tí ó ti ẹnu wa jáde, ẹ jẹ́ kí ó lè jẹ́ ìwàásù, kí ó sì lè ṣe ipa gidigidi nínú ìgbé ayé àwọn tí àwọn bá sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ lò wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí ohun èlò yín kí a lè jẹ́ orísun ìbùkún fún àwọn ẹlòmíràn. Àní ní ìgbà tí a fi tá a parí ètò yìí, ẹ jẹ́ kí a bójú wẹ̀yìn ká rí pé ẹ̀yin Olódùmarè ti wà pẹ̀lú wa. Àní àwa ń gbàdúrà fún àwọn tí a ti sọnù nípa táwọn kọlọ̀rọ̀sí ti pa. Ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ má ṣàbá ní tu àwọn ẹbí wọn nínú. Ẹ mú ìwà ìpànìyàn yìí kúrò lórí ilẹ̀ wa. Ẹ kó sí ọkàn àwọn aládarí wa kan lè ṣe ohun tí ó tọ́, wípé inú ẹ̀yin Ọlọ́run kò dùn sí eléyìí. Ọkàn àwọn ọba ìkáwọ́ ẹ̀yin Olódùmarè ló wà. Ẹ lè ṣe bó ṣe wù yín. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá ní yí wọn ní ọkàn padà. Tí wọ́n bá wá kọ̀ tán láwọn ò ní gbà, Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè ẹ má ṣáà fún wọn ní iṣẹ́ ńlá tí wọ́n máa gbé ṣe, tí àwọn ènìyàn tí a fi ní àlàáfíà ní orílẹ̀ wa. Ẹ fún wa ní àlàáfíà ní orílẹ̀ wa. Ẹ ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Ẹ dárí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ àti àṣedédé wa jì wá. Ní àtọrọ tí a bẹ̀bẹ̀ ní orúkọ Jésù Kristi Olúwa wa.
Àmín. Àmín. Àmín ní orúkọ Jésù. Ẹ ṣeun gidigidi gan ni bàbá wa, ẹ kú ohùn, ẹ kú àdúrà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wí gẹ́lẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe máa rí ní àṣẹ Olódùmarè. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. A kí wa pé ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí, bí ojú ọjọ́ bá ṣe rí ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiyín, àsìkò tí ẹ bá wà, a fi kí gbogbo yín pátápátá ní ìbẹ̀yàn pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò tí a lè ní. Èní ni ọjọ́ Ẹtì, èyí tí àdìjọ máa ń ṣe àwọn ètò pàtàkì, àwọn ètò tí a máa ń dára wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn bàbá mi. Mo máa wùjà sí ọ̀dọ̀ wọn nígbà tí a bá kí àwọn ẹ̀yin ará ilé tán. Orúkọ tèmi kò yí padà. Tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ Ìyálájé Global Yorùbá Talk Show, èmi ni mò ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Fúnkẹ́ Ìyálájé Global ní orí YouTube channel, èmi náà ni mò ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin afẹ́nifẹ́re wa. Ojú ò ní tì yín láéláé o. Bẹ́ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tẹ́ ń rífẹ́ Ọlọ́run nínú ayé wa, mo gbà á ládùúrà pé gbogbo ibi tí ẹ̀yin náà bá ń dé, ẹ máa rí àánú gbà ni o. Màá wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kí wa bí mo bá ṣe rí orúkọ yín ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi ní ibi báyìí. A kí ìyá wa, grandma ọmọ wa alálùbáríkà, Ella Ẹniọlá Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́, grandma Fúnmilọ́lá, ṣe ti gbọ́ sí bàbá àwọn bàbá Ella, ṣe ti gbọ́, we love you, ṣe ti rí nísìnyí. Àwa sọ pé ọmọ wa àkọ́bí wa ni Ella ní orí ìkànnì wa ń bí báyìí. Ó dẹ̀ máa rógo ẹ̀ lò. Ìyá wa Fúnmilọ́lá bèbè 572, a wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀, mo wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀ mọ́ mi. Ẹ pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ fún wa o, àgbáyé adalẹ́ láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Ẹ bá wa kí ọmọ wa dáadáa, ẹ bá wa kí grandpa àti gbogbo ilé wa lápapọ̀. Ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́. Ìyá wa akọ̀wé wa ní orí ìkànnì wa, ìyá wa Ọmọlára Ògúndáre 7989, ìyá wa akíyín o. Ẹ kú ojúmọ́, àárọ̀ kùtùkùtù lẹ́wà níbẹ̀ yan. Ẹ ṣé, ẹ kú àdúrótì, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà o, àjọṣe wa kò ní bàjẹ́. Ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́. Ìyálóde orí ìkànnì wa, ìyá wa Mọ́dún ní mọ́mí dókítà, ẹ bá wa kí dádì àti gbogbo àwọn ọmọ mi. Love you sis, ẹ ṣé gan ni, àdúpẹ́ o. Mo bákan náà a kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà ní abẹ́ ètò tẹ́ ẹ comment, a kí yín o, adúpẹ́dúpẹ́ amóore o. Ìyá wa Rẹ̀mí Ọ̀ṣúgbòyè, mọ́mì ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, ẹ kú gbogbo gbà, ẹ kú àdúrótì, ojú ò ní tì yín o. Ẹ ò ní mọ̀ kòrò wá, jíǹde ara máa jẹ yín, ó máa jẹ́ dádì. Ẹ bá kí Babátúndé Olúwatósìn àti ìyàwó wa, ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́. Bàbá Ìyálájé, ẹ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, mo kí yín o, ẹ má bínú sí ọmọ yín o, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. A kí bàbá wa Ṣọlátì, mo wá yàgàrà, mo lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn bàbá mi méjèèjì yìí. Ẹ ṣeun gidigidi gan ni. Ẹ bá mi kí wọn, àwọn ló yẹ ká máa kọrin pé bàbá o, bàbá o, bàbá o. Ọlọ́run dá bàbá sí fún wa, bàbá o, bàbá o, bàbá o. Olúwa dá bàbá sí fún wa. Mo kí ẹ̀yin bàbá mi méjèèjì, mo kí yín o, mo yí sọ́tún, mo yí sósì. Ọlọ́run mọ̀ ń gbọ́, èèyàn ni yín, ẹ̀yin gangan ọmọlúàbí. Ẹni tó bá bá yín pàdé nínú ìrìn àjò ayé ẹ̀, kó máa di ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ mú pé òun bá yín pàdé. Ẹ ṣé o, mo dúpẹ́ o, torí pé kí ni mí, kí ni mo já mọ́, ṣùgbọ́n síbẹ̀ ẹ rí ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run nínú ayé mi, ẹ ṣáà dúró tì mí. Ọ̀run máa bá mi dúró ti ilé àti ọ̀nà yín. Màá bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá wa ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àgbà, Professor KOFOWOROLA AARINOLA. Dádì, ìkúnlẹ̀ mi rèé, ẹlẹ́dàá yín dẹ̀ rèé. Ẹ ṣeun gidi gan ni o. Ẹ kú gbogbo.
Ìyálájé, ẹgbẹ́ra ńlẹ̀.
Àgbáyé adalẹ́ o, láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Ẹ ní mọ̀ kòrò láyé, àjíǹde ara máa jẹ yín o.
Àmín.
Àjọlẹ́wà, ẹ máa mórí délé o, lágbára Ọlọ́run. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ń dùn yín nínú kò ní pa yín lẹ́kún, láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Ẹ ṣé, mo dúpẹ́ o. Mo wá yà bàrà, mo lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá mi, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, bàbá mi. Ẹ máa tẹ̀lé yí pẹ́ o, láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ yín wọ́n máa yà síbi tó dára, wọ́n máa yàn ọ́ re láṣẹ Elédùmarè, láṣẹ ọba tó láyé tó lọ́run. A kì í rídìí òkun, a kì í rídìí ọ̀sà, ọmọ aráyé ò ní rídìí yín, ẹ ní jábọ́ láíláí. Gbogbo ohun tí Elédùmarè tó kó sí ìkápá yín, èyí tó ń mí àti èyí tí kò mí, kò ní pa yín lẹ́kún láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Àjọlẹ́wà o, ẹ máa mórí délé, ẹ máa àtẹrù gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ́ máa kó délé nígbà tí àsìkò bá tó láṣẹ Elédùmarè. Ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni, ẹ kú àtìlẹ́yìn. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kí n gbàgbé yín, ẹ ṣé, mo dúpẹ́. Ẹ bá wa kí àwọn aráalé ká tó tẹ̀síwájú sà.
Ẹ ṣeun Ìyálájé, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run fún oore ọ̀fẹ́ tó fi fún wa. Rúbọ ọpẹ́, k'Ọlọ́run kó gba ọpẹ́ wa.
Àmín Jésù.
Abẹ nínú àánú rẹ̀ kó dárí gbogbo àṣìṣe dẹ́wà jù wá.
Àmín.
Nínú ọlá agbára rẹ̀, Ọlọ́run kó tì wá lẹ́yìn, kó má ṣe fi ẹ̀mí rẹ̀, kó má ṣe fi dùn wá.
Àmín.
Ilé ìta sọ lónìí, ká má ṣe kábàámọ̀, ká má ṣe wí nípa tara wa, nínú òtítọ́ àti nínú òdodo ká lè máa yànnàná àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kó wù láti tẹ̀lé wa lẹ́yìn. Mo kí gbogbo ọlọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin lọ́mọdé láti lágbà lónílé àti ní àlejò pé a káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì. Ẹ bá wa pín ètò yìí dáadáa kó rìn, ẹ bá wa pín káàkiri, ẹ ní dáṣayé o. Thank you so much. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa látòrí ẹ̀ là lọ, àsúre fún yín tó ti àsúre fún yín, ọ̀run súre fún yín pẹ̀lú tó ti àsúre fún yín, tọ́run súre fún yín, ayé ò ní lè fi yín ré.
Àmín.
Ìjà sọ̀sílẹ̀ sínú ayé yín yóò mọ́ra o.
Àmín.
Ohun tèmi gbàgbọ́ ni mo lè fi sọ̀rọ̀. Nínú Bíbélì tèmi ó ní pé Dávidi ó ti gbàdúrà fún ọmọ rẹ̀, wọ́n á wò sàkún gbogbo àwọn ọba tó jẹ nílẹ̀ Ísírẹ́lì, gbogbo wọn kò ṣeré tí ò jagun. Sólómọ́nì nìkan ló lo ìgbà tí kò lógun jà. Á súre sínú ayé yín bí Dávidi ti gbàdúrà fún ọmọ rẹ̀ Sólómọ́nì, àwa náà gbà sínú ayé yín, ogun ayé ò ní jà yín.
Àṣẹ.
Ìtẹ̀wé ayé wí ẹ̀gbà ọ̀run ó sì gbà.
Àṣẹ.
Gbogbo ọlọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Ẹ ṣeun. Bàbá wa Dr. Ọlábánjí, gbogbo àlá máa ń pè yín. Ẹ ò ní bínú sí mi, ó ti yẹ kí n ti pè again. Ó tún di bí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì sí ìyá alájẹ ẹjọ́ ẹ rán mi létí tá a bá parí ètò.
Okay, sir.
Mo fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lórí platform yìí for the beautiful platform you presented, and I have not, made that call. Mi iṣẹ́ abáramóre jẹ́ kọ́lọ́run jẹ́ kí òkè bí ìní ò jẹ́ kárí tọ̀hún kẹjọ kẹ má bínú sí mi. Màá pè yín lágbára Ọlọ́run léni náà ni bí tá a bá ti rí báyìí bí ó wọlé. I'll call you today to appreciate you and thank you. Ẹ ní ṣìṣe, ẹ mọ̀ ṣe.
Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Ní lọ́lọ́run bá mi pamọ́.
Àṣẹ.
Ọmọ àti báyìí lọ lágbára Elédùmarè. Ire láti mọ̀ nípa.
Àṣẹ o. Àmì àṣẹ.
Ẹ̀rọ ẹgbẹ́ àgbà mú lọ́wọ́ yín sà, Professor Àrínọlá. Thank you so much. Ẹ lè mọ ìyá ẹni Ọlọ́run sì ní jẹ́ kẹ́ mọ ìyá ara yín lágbára Elédùmarè. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ìṣẹ́ ẹ kò wá jẹ pẹ́. Ètò ẹ̀ ń ṣe irúgbìn ìfitẹ́ fún yìí. Kì í ṣe lásán, Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kó so èso lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, èso tó dára, tó ṣe wù, tó ṣe rí, tó sì Elédùmarè á jẹ́ kó so. Thank you. God will compensate you mightily. Yín sà, ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ ṣeun.
Ẹ ṣeun gidi gan.
Ẹ kí ẹ bá kíra lé.
Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí kí a kọ́ àwọ̀ sí ètò wa tí ò ní. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ náà kí olóòtú wa ìyálájé gbogbo ilẹ̀ Àṣàbárì, gbogbo òkè Ògùn, gbogbo ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àti gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni yóò sì rí.
Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Arákùnrin bàbá wa Ẹ̀gbájọ Dr. Olúwafẹ́mi Abíọ́dún Òjó, káwọ̀ sórí ètò báyìí kan náà ni bàbá wa láti odò Ọwá, Dr. Bánjí Lágúnjú. Bákan náà mo kí àwọn ọmọ wa Táǹwá àti Ẹ́là, ẹ dàgbà, ẹ dògbó, ẹ ṣe ribiribi nínú ayé, pàápàá jùlọ fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n kí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Àwọn náà rí gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Àwa fi ẹ̀mí gbogbo ara kí gbogbo àwọn ìdílé tí wọ́n sọ àwọn èèyàn wọn nù nípa àwọn agbésùnmọ̀mí, kí Olúwa kí ó tù wọ́n nínú. Àwọn tí wọ́n sì ti bá ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ lọ, kí Olúwa kó tẹ̀ wọ́n sí afẹ́fẹ́ rere. Àwọn náà máa tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tí nǹkan yìí fi ṣẹlẹ̀ torí àwọn jẹgúdújẹrá tó wà láàrin wa. Àwa gbàdúrà wípé gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń fòòró ẹ̀mí wa lórí ilẹ̀ wa, ìbá ṣe láti ìlà oòrùn ni, ìbá ṣe láti àríwá ni, sísọ ọmọ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ó sì jẹ́ pé ọmọ Yorùbá náà ni tó ń gbàbọ̀dè láti lè máa jẹ́ kí irú ìyà kó tọ́ sí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá. Olúwa yóò bá ní yí wọn lọ́kàn padà.
Àmín.
Wọ́n bá sì wá kọ̀ tán láwọn ò ní gbọ́, àwọn náà ò sì ní gbà. Olúwa yóò bá ní gbéṣẹ́ ńlá gidi fún wọn tó wà ní lè dá ṣe tán táwọn ò fi rọ́nà lọ. Wọ́n ní ojú oró ní lékè omi, òṣì bàtà ní lékè odò. Àwa ọmọ Yorùbá á lékè àwọn ọ̀tá wa. Wọ́n á ní pé tọ̀tún tòsì ní ẹyẹlé fi kórè wọlé. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà níbikíbi tí a bá wà, á kórè ilẹ̀kílẹ̀ tí a bá wà dé ilẹ̀ olómìnira Yorùbá dandan. gbogbo àwa oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ a ó máa rí ṣe,
àmín o,
oníṣòwò a ó tà a ó rà a ó sì bóde pàdé,
àmín,
àwọn oníṣẹ́ ìjọba ọba àdá ọba kò ní ṣá wa léṣe.
àmín,
ẹ wá sọ wípé wọ́n ní gbọgbọgbọ ni ọwọ́ yọ ọjọ́ orí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn baba ńlá wa sọ. Gọ̀gọ̀ ni ọ̀gọ́ máa yọ láàrin ọ̀pẹ, kì í ṣe ọ̀fọ̀, àṣẹ Olódùmarè ni. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ojúlówó ọmọ Yorùbá tí à ń fẹ́ ire ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, tí à ń fẹ́ ìlọsíwájú rẹ̀, tí a sì ń fẹ́ òmìnira rẹ̀ ní òtítọ́, ibikíbi tí a bá wà a ó máa yọ jù wọ́n lọ ni o, tọmọtọmọ. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí a kí wa káàbọ̀ sí ètò wa. Ẹ ṣeun.
Ẹ ṣeun gidi gan ni ẹ̀yin bàbá wa gbogbo, a dúpẹ́ o, lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí àjíǹde ara máa jẹ yín o, ẹ ṣeun lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ká tó tẹ̀síwájú, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú kan péré láti sáré kí àwọn ìyá wa tí wọ́n tún ṣẹ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Màámi Yẹmí Folúkẹ́ ní orí Facebook, ẹ ṣé ẹ káàbọ̀, àgbáyé adalẹ́ o láṣẹ Elédùmarè. A kí ìyá wa Ọmọlára Ògúndáre, mo ti kí yín, ìyá wa Títí Aláyọ̀, mọ́mì ẹ ṣeun gbà gbogbo, a dúpẹ́. Ìyá wa Rísí Àṣírò, ẹ ṣé ìyá wa, àjíǹde ara máa jẹ yín ní àṣẹ Ọlọ́run ọba. Ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ má gbàgbé, bí ẹ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní orí ìkànnì ní alẹ́ yìí, ẹ bá wa like, ẹ bá wa love, ẹ bá wa pín ètò. Bí ẹ ṣe ń ṣe léyìí, mo gbà ládùúrà pé àtẹ̀yin àti mi a máa fi ọwọ́ náà a máa fi gba lẹ́tà ayọ̀ ni o, láṣẹ Ọlọ́run ọba. Ẹ ṣé a dúpẹ́. A máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò tí alẹ́ ní. Ẹ mọ̀ pé tẹ́ bá ti rí àwọn bàbá mi méjèèjì yìí, ètò pàtàkì ni. Ẹ mú gègé yín, ẹ wá nǹkan fìdílé kẹ́ fìdílé nǹkan, ẹ wá malt, ẹ wá meat pie, ẹ wá kọfí, bóyá kọfí lẹ máa mu bí èmi kan bí báyìí, ẹ gbé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kẹ́ra máa fi gbádùn, torí ó máa lẹ́tìkẹ́. Mo máa pin comment yín ẹ̀yin ará lé o, ẹ ṣé. Ibo ni ká ti bẹ̀rẹ̀? Ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ ẹ bá wa kíyèsí bó ṣe ń lọ. Ṣé ká gbé bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bó ṣe ń lọ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lápapọ̀, àbí ọ̀rọ̀ pàtàkì tí bàbá wa, bàbá ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n fẹ́ debunk, ibo ni ká ti gbé sà?
Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ debunk ẹ̀ ká wá máa bá ètò lọ.
ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́, bàbá ẹgbẹ́ àgbà, inú mi dúpẹ́ fún wa lórí ọ̀fẹ́ láti gbé ká kọ́kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kúnná ná, torí ẹ̀yin bàbá náà lẹ pa lórí pé tí gbígbá rẹ̀ lùkì wọ́n ní tòkì ẹ̀bá náà kan gbé kúrò. Lọ́kàn tèmi bó ṣe múmú nìyẹn, torí bí wọ́n bá lọ lógún ọdún ọjọ́ kan ló yẹ kó bà, tó tọ́ bá sì wá rí rọ́, tó bá tẹsẹ̀ mọ́rìn kò yẹ kó tún dúró lójú ọ̀nà mọ́, ṣe ló yẹ kó ṣiṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ẹ̀. So inú mi dùn pé ká debunk ẹ̀ lẹ gbà sí wa lẹ́nu, máa bẹ ìyálájé kódà because mo send pé voice note ni ẹnìkan send sí mi ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá. Èmi ò wá mọ date tí Káyọ̀dé Mọ́lá is the Deputy National Leader Homeland, Diaspora for the YSDM, Yoruba Self-Determination Movement. Bóyá kí n ṣàlàyé nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀. Kémi tó lọ sí YSDM rárá, nínú ẹgbẹ́ Mega Rally ni mo wà. Àdúrà! Jẹ́ fún mi ìṣẹ́jú kan.
Okay, sir. Okay. Ẹ̀yin aráalé, ẹ máa bá wa pín ètò yìí. Ètò tó lẹ́tìkẹ́. Mo kí ọ̀gá mi Dr. Ọlábánjí Ìjìnlẹ̀ Ọpọlọ.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ má bínú sí mi jàre.
Ẹ wà okay, sir.
Àdúrà ló wà lórí fóònù kò pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ tó ń pariwo bí.
Àwọn sisi.
Mo tọrọ àforíjì lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ilé ẹjọ́. Yeah. Bóyá kí kọ́kọ́ fún àwọn èèyàn ní brief history. Wọ́n lè mọ who Moses Abiodun Ojo is and who Kayode Mola is and what is the YSDM. Now, so that I play tape yẹn, tí máa ń debunk ẹ̀, máa jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ play gbogbo tape yẹn náà.
Okay, sir.
Máa play ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀kan, máa pause ẹ̀ so that I can state the facts, the truth, and nothing but the truth. Kí tó wá tẹ̀síwájú, mo búra níwájú Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè àti níwájú gbogbo èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ohun gbogbo tèmi Abiodun Ojo, èmi Abiodun Ojo, ọmọ ilé ẹjẹ mo kè sáà nílùú Gbàjọ ntẹ́mi ó sọ lónìí èmi ọmọ Isaac Fọlọ́nṣọ́ Òjó ntí sọ tí mo ti ń sọ bọ̀ látòrí ìkànnì tí mo sọ lónìí òtítọ́ tí ò ní sí àmúlùmálà tí ò ní sí ẹ̀tàn nínú ẹ̀ ni tí n bá parọ́ kílẹ̀ mú mi kọ́run kó mú mi káyé mú mi pẹ̀lú tó bá yẹ pé òótọ́ ni mo sọ kọ́lọ́n kó dá mi láre òótọ́ tí mo sọ kó dá mi láre gbogbo ọ̀nà ẹ wá sọ fún wọn nígbà tó bá gbọ́ tèpù mi táwọn náà bá lè gbàrú àdúrà tí mo gbà yìí lórí nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ sọ. So brief history as to who I am. Abiodun Ojo ọmọdé. So mo join Megarali mo join. Ó dẹ̀ ní mo ṣe túrò ara ọmọ mi náà látọ̀dọ̀ ọmọ mi ni mo ti jọ tó mo ṣe ẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá tẹ́lẹ̀ mi ò join ẹgbẹ́ kankan. And then when I joined, somehow Ìyálájé ọ̀dà àgbọ̀n wọn ní issue pẹ̀lú general secretary wọn ní Megarali níta nìyẹn. Wọ́n suggest pé wọ́n ọmọ mi rí. Lord of Israel.
Gbọ́ yín sá o.
Gbọ́ yín.
Ok, ó dàbí pé wọ́n ń bá ó jọ pé wọ́n ń bá bóyá wọ́n bá ẹ foríjì wá èèyàn ra lé o ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá wa ní sùúrù.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú ọmọ mi ló wọlé.
Okay, sir.
So I want to know exactly where I start.
Ẹ dárúkọ mi pé a ní issue pẹ̀lú.
So I didn't Megarali. The Secretary General at the time left, and then you recommended me pé kò sẹ́ni tó máa kọ̀wé minutes ẹgbẹ́ ní time yẹn. So wọ́n dẹ̀ fún mi ní responsibility yẹn pé ṣé máa lè ṣe mọ́ àwọn pé nǹkan tó easy jù ni. Because nǹkan tẹ́mi wò ni pé àwọn èèyàn if we really wanted to go, somebody have to be able to do the job. And that was how I started ní Megarali. Long story short, because if I waste the time, I eventually was nominated for Secretary YSDM. Ṣé rí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri gbogbo ìlú káàkiri, especially lókè òkun. Wọ́n decide pé ṣe ló yẹ ká ní body kan tí yóò coordinate gbogbo affairs sọ́ra kò kàn ní jẹ́ pé a kàn fún ọká bí iná wáyà. Ṣé pé ọmọ ọwọ̀ ló ṣe iṣẹ́. Wọ́n ní tó bá di bí òṣùṣù ó máa ń ṣòro láti ṣẹ́. So they want to have a general body that will coordinate all of the activities of Yoruba nation movement agitators or groups or organizations in all of the nations of the world. So the Yoruba self-determination movement was born. That was the umbrella body. Eléyìí Professor Banji Akintoye tó jẹ́ the national chairman at the time, and then after revamping the YSDM, the title changed to the national the national leader. Abi?
Benz.
So, but don't nominate me, don't wa and general secretary, because the general secretary at the time left, and then the finance director, Dr. Ilesomi, happened to be holding the finance director, was the finance director as well as the general secretary, which was a bulk of work to do for one person. So they announced to all organizations across the universe, on the planet, and general secretary should be nominated. Megarali nominated me to go for that position. A. Molatu was nominated from UK. Now, the history is that A. Mola happened to be one of the founding members of the YSDM. Initially, he vied for the position of the vice chairman. He lost to Baba Iloge. Vied for the position of the secretary, lost. And now the opposition of the secretary came again. Of all the candidates that were interviewed, I happened again to be the winner. He lost. He was bitter. he was not happy. He tried to undermine everything. The records are there. I have the minutes to prove where he was, there were discussions about this. And then how he tried to fracture the US and the UK away from the YSDM. But the records in one left. But Sherry, his godmother in the movement, because money evidence Uncle Mama Olori Eko happens to be very close to Baba Banjia Akitoye. Shadi, these people do not, Mofe bring a cock out in be one of the faults Babani is that he does not like to apply the rules. He wants to manipulate his way. He likes to cut corners and do whatever he wants. There's no difference between him and the politicians in Nigeria. I'm very, very sad to say. When there's a rule, when you have a body, and there's a regulation, there's an article, people are supposed to follow the rules to the letter. No, we can do, so you want to do away with the rules. That means even if we have a government, we'll have a president, there will be a law of the nation, and then the president can just do whatever he wants. And we say we want to be a Yoruba nation. We know this. People should understand what I'm trying to say here. Long story short, he became very anti the entire movement, trying to break away, trying to fracture the YSDM and create another one. They almost succeeded in doing that. Of a break away UK away from Europe, away from the entire movement. Now, fast track. We had to revamp the YSDM. I was key to it as the general secretary. I won the election the first time for 2 years, a 2-year term. And then, towards the end of it, but the games don't share. I'm not interested. And I don't want to get involved in the nature of the things because they looked at me like a stupid man. They thought I was very a lot of times they think I'm very senseless. I think my looks used to be very deceptive. But me no tell me man let me just walk away from here. Because to that stage I don't want people to see that nature in me. That was the reason why I wanted to walk away. To the end, when it was time to pick up, I was responsible for through all the vetting, everybody that became, that won any executive office. Everybody went through me. I was part of those that I oversaw everything and set up everything set up all the interviews. Set up YSDM, every state in all of Nigeria, across Europe, across the UK and Canada. I happen to be instrumental. So because information will record one day allow me. So again, I refused to go for another term where I was leaving. At the end, there was a pressure group that gathered themselves together. Most of them to Awala Tiekiti, almost Shulemi. They started making phone call lie. Ishati Oshembi, they all was pushing. Like you cannot leave. Although I vote, I refused to be nominated. I did not nominate myself based on the rules at the time. So on that day, and because I've seen the pressure coming, I decided I was no more so to me only logins or handle. I gave him the handle to put everything live, and I disappeared. Anton Fish Top. When my phone was bugging, at first me perfect be, but if only different people, and then finally the last person. I don't want to. I'm going back to Mega Rally. I'm no longer interested because it's a lie. But it's often one time when you pay dead end, in YSDM, but they have nothing. These people looks like it's a corrupt set of things going on here. And Emil, anybody and Lower see come apart from you. Money, kò sí nǹkan kan tó fẹ́ jáde lórí leadership down way in YSDM. And I've seen a lot of people do not want to challenge, do not want to tell the truth. Baba Akitoye. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá wà ní executive máa sọ. Èmi wá bí ọ̀rọ̀ òjò mo tún gbójú ara mi mo tún sọ kónkún báyìí. Each time that I, raise questions on statements or routes, everybody else will keep quiet. And I'll be asking questions, Baba will get angry, will be shouting down on people, on me. You understand? I'm saying, is it a crime to ask questions? This is Baba Akitoye do not want to work with any intelligentsia. He wants people who are dumb, people that cannot think, people that cannot ask questions. And now, what is the result of it today? Where is the YSDM today? The people that will not be able to ask. One thing, when I was in the beginning, I just ask my questions and then I keep quiet when he shuts me down. But at this stage, I will repeat my question without anger, because I knew that the question must be asked, and I want it for records. I wanted those things to be in the records. Everybody will keep quiet. What at this stage, General Secretary Magbo Baba Lenu, you understand? I'm a at Baba 90 something, I had to say I'm no longer interested. I won the second term, even though I refused to nominate myself. They pushed me in, and then when they forced me to come to that meeting that day, on nearly move forward, on nearly party revamp to 30 share for almost 6 months. Unless I show up, the whole Congress said they want to hear from me. And then there was phone calls back and forth. Then I logged in. But as of well, it was my intention not to run again. I was no longer interested. I wanted to walk away, but I've received phone calls a lot of them that I can no longer ignore. At this point, no, whatever happens, happens. Again, it was myself and Emola. Between the two of us, there was a vote, and again he lost. I can boldly tell you, I was the one that walked away. Even after winning that election, about 2 months or so I left. And that's a 2-year term. I refused to continue because I cannot continue under that deception. I cannot continue under that deception. Because this is another way to start taking the Yoruba money to the point where record one leg. Question again. Why are we doing this? Are we going to go back to Yoruba people and tell them we want to talk the money? Money, issue by our executive, gbogbo àwọn tó ń gbé fake news security wa àwọn tó ń gbé fake news wọ́n ti nà nìkan ní Ìbàdàn wọ́n ti lo ẹnìkan pa níbì kan ẹnìkan ti kó sí gálọ ọlọ́pàá all of those it started and taba sọ pé èmi ò ní kọ memo tí máa fi pé kán release owó ọmọ Yorùbá o èmi ò ní kó ṣe orúkọ tèmi lẹ́bàá lórí pé kán máa release owó ọmọ Yorùbá fún nǹkan báyìí. What are we talking about? You understand? And then bàtà àwọn èèyàn ti rí pé àwọn executive rí pé àpọ̀ra wọn náà ti ń dáwó ẹ̀rí pé number of people coming in with all these false pretenses stopped. Number 2 device means not ní bàbá àtàwọn guys àwọn mo pe àwọn kan ní kábà mo pe àwọn kan ní syndicate ọlọ́kọ̀ọ́ra àwọn ọjọ́ wọ́n tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n á gbégbá àwọn ọlọ́ba dé ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wa àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí nígbà tó kó wa lẹ́rú àkọ́kọ́ kì í ṣe àwọn ọba yẹn ló ń tà wá sí orúkọ ẹrú ni.
Àwọn náà ni.
Àwọn kọ́ṣẹ́ tí mo ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ Akitoye ni wá gbogbo ayé wà lórí rẹ́kọ̀dù wà lórí tape video tape ni wà ń bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ní gbogbo rẹ́kọ̀dù ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. Mo ní àwọn ọba ẹ̀kọ́ náà tà wá sí orúkọ ẹrú. Mo ní látijọ́ ta ti ń pariwo látijọ́ tí Sunday Igboho ti ń pariwo ní Ìbàdàn ṣe gbọ́ kí kankan náà ọba ìdíje kó defend anything wọ́n ní rárá. Ó wà lórí rẹ́kọ̀dù mo ní kí ni nǹkan tá à ń wá àwọn ọba sí ní ìsìnkú kọ́gbà wa ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àwọn ọba lọ lórí wa àwọn ọba ní nǹkan tó bá mo ní àmọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ Ọlọ́run sì mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe pé mi ò fi tọba ṣe o wọ́n gbé ọba Èkó kan wá sí orí kíní mo ní kábíyèsí tọwọ́tọwọ́ mo respect yín ṣùgbọ́n èmi ò mọ kí ni nǹkan tí ẹ fẹ́ ṣe nínú situation yìí I don't see your relevance here. Everybody was in the meeting. People would testify to what I say. Èèyàn lọ́ba lóòótọ́ ojú ọba kò mí gbé kí wọ́n sọ òótọ́ ọdún tèmi fún. Èmi ò mọ kí ni reason gbé wá sórí because I don't see what you're going to do to us. Number one, Tinubu ló ń sanwó àwọn ọba yìí. Ṣé àwọn ọba fẹ́ issue statement tó máa lòdì sí nǹkan tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì fẹ́ di? How can I be in a place and be fooled and they're telling me I'm a stupid man and I will continue to be heard. Nítorí pé tí wọ́n ti pọ̀ bá dé so nìkan má lè dárò wa pé àwọn ọba yìí they're paid by the government. A lot of them also have paycheck coming directly from Tinubu, aside from their pay, for their regular state payment. Mo ní kí ni nǹkan tá a fẹ́ fi àwọn ọba ṣe? Ẹ tó ní àwọn ọba wa aládìsípọ́sọ̀ wọn láti wọn lọ sí Brazil. Mo ní kí ni nǹkan tó wọ́n fẹ́ lọ sí Brazil tó fẹ́ gba bá ṣe fẹ́ gbalẹ̀ wa? Who are you to be talking like that? This is how they will shut me down. Baba Toye on record saying all these things. You understand? And when I saw that people were not ready to listen, they were not interested in all this nonsense. Only your water son, tani ba won ọba, tan lórí ọba tí mo ní wọ́n mú wá yìí. Ba ki mo ti darugo right now. Lo ọba tán mú wá yìí. Tani yóò máa káàkiri gbogbo ilẹ̀ ọba Yorùbá ni wọ́n fẹ́ sign document kan wá tó wọ́n ká gbogbo ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sign. Mo ní tó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹ dá mi nìkan dá ẹ fún mi document yìí. Màá wá èèyàn kan nílùú Ìgbàjọ, nìkan náà àbúrò mi. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pápátá mo ní ọmọ Yorùbá ò ní láti dáwó. Yóò lọ sí gbogbo ilé ọba pápátá kan sign document yìí. Why do we have to sponsor ọba? Ní nǹkan tẹ́ mọ̀ káwọn ọba ò ní sign. Wọ́n mọ̀ o, bọ́ba kankan ò ní fọwọ́ sí rẹ́kọ̀dù kankan o. Àwọn ọba tán ní pé wọ́n lè gbójú jáde o. Who is deceiving who? These are the lies from the top leadership of the YSDM. They keep telling everybody. And then I left. Okay, you know what? Chicken. I'm out of here. And I hand over their documents and everything. I walked away. I called Olugunlolu Asofun. Bye. Ọlọ́run ṣe olórí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ni ẹ jẹ́ ká mójútó àwọn ọ̀dọ́ so that ká mọ bá ṣe fẹ́ àwọn eléyìí níbi kankan lọ. Àwọn náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí play game. Wọ́n ní kémi lọ pé kábíyèsí kan. Ṣẹ̀gẹ́t. Wọ́n tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ game yẹn underground. Kí ni wọ́n fẹ́ fàyọ̀ lọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ mọ̀ láì? The same money. Ṣẹ́mọ̀, nígbà táwọn kan da àkáǹtì yẹn rú. This is how, fortunately, Ọlọ́run bá mi ṣe, bàbá ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Professor AARINOLA wà lórí bí. He lives in Canada. Ẹnìkan tó bá dédé jókòó lórí owó pé gbogbo ọmọ tí Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ fọ́kàn yẹn òun pé who is the YSDM? YSDM ló bí ẹgbẹ́ yẹn o. Yoruba self-determination movement. Wọ́n create a fund pé in case tán bá fẹ́ prescribe àwọn ẹgbẹ́ Kanu Nnamdi so that no government will be able to touch our funding. Wọ́n ní kó lọ dá Yoruba self-determination foundation kalẹ̀. Yoruba self-determination movement is the struggle. Yoruba self-determination foundation was supposed to be the organ. It's a foundation that's going to be holding Yoruba self-determination movement money. Àwọn yẹn náà nínú àkáǹtì tán dálẹ̀. Fortunately, ṣẹ́rí Europe náà ti kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀. UK náà ti kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ dá báńkì yẹn lẹ̀ tán rí ṣe. Because èèmọ̀ lásán àwọn kan nù bẹ́yẹn tó ní pé wọ́n lọ gbé ẹnìkan wá láti Nàìjíríà tí kò gbé Canada o pé ó sáwọn orúkọ. The first chairman of the YSDF lives in Italy. Kò sí ní Canada. UK náà ti kọ́ fẹ́ dá báńkì ẹlẹ́wọ̀n rí government UK ò jẹ́ kán open it. Then eventually they tried in America. I think they were unsuccessful. In Canada was where they were able to open that account. I mean the foundation and then open the account. Gbogbo àwọn tó dẹ̀ wà nínú board yẹn it has to be a board. A board was created for it. And for a foundation, there has to be a board. But when Tobam register business, you know what I'm talking about. And the chairman of that board lives in Italy. He's also a professor. Àwọn mẹ́rin àbí márùn-ún náà wà ń bẹ̀. Ẹnìkan tó wá in Canada, very shady character. On Lojokole, because even the chairman in Italy did not know he was the chairman of the YSDF. So owó wọn Yorùbá kan lọ síbẹ̀ ẹ̀rí pé wọ́n launch àkáǹkó tó gbé onítìrí ọ̀nà àgbà tó wọ́n rí gbogbo nonsense yẹn onítìrí náà bá lọ break out lọ create another kini lọ́nà that account take out lọ́wọ́ fọ́ gbogbo account. If you remember, because they saw the money that was coming in wọ́n ṣe ibi tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí da Yorùbá nation movement wúrí yẹn. Emola should be aware of all these things because he's a founding member of the YSDM itself. But even though he was a founding member, he lost every election to be relevant in the executive.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And he should be aware, instead of being aware of what's going on, he became very bitter and he became very angry at the entire system. And then when the second set came in, when there was replacement of some executive members of the cabinet, Mr. Sam Oyabayo became the finance secretary of finance, the finance director. Actually, the finance director, but I revamped no longer secretary. The launch of I understand. And then money started coming in again. Because after the only Tiri Saga, the money was just stagnant. Not moving, not doing nothing. Yoruba Nation was not able to generate, except from different organizations. Be Rumegaradi, be Canada, Canada. Ilano, Canada. You understand? These are the major key players in terms of funding. And then some individuals. So Oyabayo came in with an idea. In the finance department, we were able to organize things. Baba had a little vision about, that came out from Cotonou. The trip to Malta, you understand? Emola was not aware of all this crap, all this nonsense, but then he wants to talk whatever he wants to say. Now, during Sam Oyabayo's tenure, me that didn't follow Ilesami at the hold account to Canada and tell every month, the Ilesami man give report. I have all the reports, the account. I have all the accounts. No, the computer to anywhere. Over your growth. Over my Yoruba. Okoja yeto wang mai. Every 3 months, every 2 months, every month, when he gives the report, nothing. And then Ilesami was always asking to have an overview of the account. Overview as the finance director, to be able to see, log in to online and check the transactions coming in and out. These people refused. The YSDF members, our boys in town also don't have to talk about the YSDM is not later. So I followed that trend and I looked the argument to the point where we brought him in. Dr. Oyabi of Canada. He was like the King EGBE there, controlling the whole money. But he will not want anybody to see the transaction. He doesn't want, he always bring Ish Omar fighting on to the dead. And then when they have a change, but then they kept me back initially. So when they now brought the second set, where Oyabayo was the finance director, Oyabayo not with the intention of any oversight view of the account. And now that we started raising funds, it became very important that he be member of the account. Then, number 2, is over. When you have an organization, once the bill is presented, the executive discuss it. Somebody come up with a way where there's reason to spend money. And then, even though there will be arguments, some people will say, but once the executive says, that's it, we have to release the money, no, but not one person, and now. And the general secretary, and they will move motion. Record there's a memo that back it up. There's a record of votes that back it up. Somebody is okay, can't release the instruction is for the general secretary to raise a memo, send it to the finance department, let them review it, and then comply with it. Of course, they will first present to the house and to the council. Once the council approves, and that's it. The memo goes to I generate the memo. It send it to the finance department. They issue a check. This is the process. Standard. Now, I mean, I'm not too interested. So, then once they said release money, generate memo to who recognize the memo YSDM. Do you understand where the trouble started? That I do not. He will be saying that I do not understand. I don't recognize the YSDM. In other words, he has hijacked the account, the YSDF, because that's a separate body, under entity. If you all understand these things, the YSDM has no legal standing. It is on record with his voice on it. And the YSDM has no legal standing. Money, listen to this statement. This guy is telling you that the YSDM does not own this account. Money, this is what we're going to do. Meeting. But the YSDF have to have a meeting with the YSDM executives. No meetings here. My best need tired down in minutes. Voice recordings, videotapes, Zoom meetings. Is answering to the YSDM, and he understands by implication is clearly stating that the YSDM actually owns the YSDF. Check.
Thanks.
This was how myself and Otumba were able to ensure we have strong hold to establish the ownership of the YSDF actually. And then we took action. Because I want to get action to take from the time of election, nothing they can increase it because he's refusing to do things. Well, let us put in more signatories to the account. Let us put in, and then we present to the council. Everything went through debate, went to the council, present, and then when the council voted and said yes, we send the memo. I send the memo out, generate and give them the rules. Like, listen, add so people. But the one delay. He delayed. This delay, I'm telling you, more than a year.
Yeah.
Refusing to comply. So when October came on, I told him this is the first the first task to be done. Because I'm suspecting there's something volunteer. And then yes, most of us agree but he can't release so baba I mean can and when I told them if everybody voted yes, the majority carried the vote, right? Who is one person to tell us no, you cannot do it? And then we started calling meetings, and then we realized also on tape that the chairman of the YSDF does not even know the chairman. This guy lives in Italy. Long story short, we're able to add other people onto the account. And Otumba was eventually made the chairman of that board. You understand? And then all three of them decided to resign. And I close the account here, I'll shut it down. I don't want to tell you. But we were able to get a hold of the foundation, and then establish the account. We didn't move the money or anything. We just made sure the money was there. There's one woman, Madam Olanewaju. Eventually, council raised the coffee sínú board yẹn. And Baba Kofo AARINOLA, you were part of those they said into the board. You understand? These are to create checks and balances at the end of the day. But these people were brought in not by one person work, and they safeguarded the account. Tebari of frustrate Oyabayo to Fukurumbe, Oyabayo, the same one, 2 bears in his or 2 bears in grow mine. Most of them, but less on me and they will grow 1 cent. But Samoyabayo between February, I think it was February, and then by September or June, no, around September. But just to be on the safer side, around November or December, the money grew up to almost about 30,000, almost 30,000, if not more. This is the money that refused to grow from 21,000.
Wow.
And then we tried to rescue the Swift. He refused. Also, he cancelled it to make sure we could send the history account away. The same people, they frustrated. Cannot they frustrate Yabayo? Cannot they frustrate because our short account eventually we have to open another one. But on the same YSDF, we were able to regain the foundation. So to open another account, they gave us the check. To open another foundation, to open another account, it was opened. So we started first with one signature, which is Mama Mrs. Olatuji in Canada. And then Professor Kofo, also in Canada, was supposed to be the second signatory. So the initial one went through quickly. And then his case, because so there was issues with moving back and forth and getting in touch with the bank officer. That delayed a little while. But if you want to but if you want to see the about statement, Emolame could daru commission, statement here. But I'm going to saw fake news, ni mo fẹ́ debunking bí. Mo ti sọ history mi pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ fún yín nísìn. Mo sọ débi tí a ti establish account Canada. Mo sọ débi pé with the first signature was already established. That we open account here, Mrs. Olanewaju Olatuji, and I have all the records too, and the memos that moved it. But Professor AARINOLA to be the second signatory on that account.
Actually, I was the treasurer. I was elected the treasurer. That is, I'm supposed to be the first signatory. But KOFOWOROLA. So yeah.
So long story short, she became, the first signatory, and then he was supposed to do his own. There was a delay in between that, and then the drama started. Ready? By any Mama Yao Baba Kito Koko Shalaisi 1 December. You get? Even though YSDM, I heard everything. I heard about everything. And then the people were saying, you understand? They're moving, but they were so eager to take that money, all of that money. Canada and you. The first $5,000. More see.
Yeah.
More. What about $5,000 woman?
Oh.
Chris Akibade. Through Chris Akibade in Canada to pressurize woman. Tony call release over Tony. You will hear the tape.
Yeah.
owó tó ní pé wọ́n àtọwọ́ bọ̀ tán náà kan pariwo káàkiri pé wọ́n gbówó náà ọmọ Yorùbá jẹ àwọn ológbò gbogbo everybody tó ṣiṣẹ́ nu bí countless times ni Ọ̀yábáyọ̀ tó bá sanwó nǹkan kan bóyá sáré fẹ́ release nǹkan kan ni àbí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan kan ni or whatever when he will pay out of his money out of his pocket tẹ́ bá ní pé kí YSDM kan repay ẹ̀ padà á ní òun ò lè gbà because the memo will be generated and then the money is going back to the finance secretary. How does that look like?
Do you
understand? These people cannot take their money. Owó táwa iná náà ń kọ́. But ẹni kí ẹ mọ̀ láwa sọ owó tó ná. Tó bá sọ pé mo pa irọ́, màá gbé àwọn tape wa video recordings tá a máa wà ní executive meeting or anything tá a bá ní ká dáwó. Ẹ rí i pé tape ẹ̀ ó máa go mute and blank. I recall one time when he paid, when there was no other choice and he had to pay. I still recall he paid only £20. You understand what I'm saying? The same people, but you know, he's well connected with through Yeko to Baba Akitoye. You understand? And then and now we're seeing what it is all about. It's all about the money. Because Canada 21 Momo Badani Tony Emola from any can send the 2,000 àbí 2,500 sí olóyè. Tẹ́nìkan dẹ̀ sọ fún olóyè pé mama gba owó yìí. Because the story will start coming out now. These people, that is the way he's talking. Àwọn kankan àti mo ní mi ò ní máa ṣàlàyé tẹ́lẹ̀ ni. Ó fẹ́ tó bá tọ́ bọ̀ ọ̀nà fún mi gbogbo ẹni máa gbé síta gbogbo ayé. At this point. They are deliberately avoiding to talk about Moses because they know their whole world will be outside. But I cannot let that go because these are people that I work with. You cannot be throwing people under the bus and be lying to the Yoruba people and say, and be telling them as though this is the truth. That's not the truth. You're a liar.
Yeah.
And I will not allow you to lie and to get away with it. I'll play Tepi. I'll be debunking one by one each of those things he said in there.
Ká tó tẹ̀síwájú, wọ́n ní àwọn ọ̀nà owó yẹn gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá including ìlànà Western Canada, Yorùbá Strategy Alliance, a fẹ́ rí account statement up to date, kí ni account balance. So gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri àgbáláyé wọ́n fẹ́ rí.
It's very easy. Ilé sọ mí every 3 months. Ẹ̀rí kan ṣe meeting kankan máa ń tó kán pé ọmọ Yorùbá sí meeting. But they will come to tó bá fẹ́ raise owó wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tricky ways now. I see recently tán bẹ̀rẹ̀ garbage.
Odua Foundation náà pé ti Canada.
You understand? I see all of that. See all these persons. When they want to get money from the Yoruba, they want to get the money, they will not be able to give you the account. When Ilesami was there, Ilesami released the account details. This is the statement, this is how much you have, this is how much was spent, this one was done. You will never hear that now. Because all of that money, guess what? Fraudulently taken. Sherry, Matwa Shalain Kokon. Ontoni won náwó Yorùbá. Ọjọ́ kan lẹ́yìn ìgbà tẹ́mi ti kúrò YSDM tipẹ́tipẹ́. Mo ti kúrò YSDM o. One pressure woman yẹn. Chris Akínbádé. Woman yẹn Ọlánìwájú àti Èmọ̀láyé. Wọ́n wà lórí aago àtẹnìkan mi mẹ́ni the other person. I'm going to take a screenshot of the phone because it was a conference call. I think I take a screenshot of the people on that call. The badge lowo kinimi Mari. Make sure you have a record for each date of these things. So when I log in from my phone, somebody get conference call in, I take a screenshot. I want to be. Moroccan first woman after the first money to open it by 5,000, don't know issue out. Morocco, our director, board of directors, the YSDF, you cannot do this unilaterally without the board actually approving this.
Yeah.
Fixed deposit. They understand? Why are they spending for themselves?
We ended up paying fine about $300.
Yes. And then this is the same thing. Dr. ABIODUN sọ pé a fẹ́ ṣe. pé a fẹ́ gbówó ọmọ Yorùbá ni pé òun ló jẹ́ kán gbé. Meanwhile, he was doing whatever he wants with the Yoruba money. So the people were very careful. We cannot be a victim of what Oyabioye is accusing. On a meeting, don't pressurize woman. Woman want her to get Otumba. Ola. Otumba and time here, over Nigeria. Morocco lolly for almost a year. Otumba doesn't answer his phone calls. Along the push me paying a capital, she get. But somehow, be me alone lady man she fair. And maybe because of the old don't need. Not a mistake about me wọlé. Otumba náà rò pa àwọn pé èmi Abiodun Ojoye òun náà pè sórí phone. Chris Akinbade tí n bá parọ́, you can hear me. Mama Ọlárẹ̀wájú Ọlátúnjí, if I'm lying, you heard me. You thought Emola, you thought you were calling Otumba into the meeting. The woman wanted to bring Otumba to rescue because they were pressuring her to issue the check. And when she called me, and somehow my spirit said, just answer the phone call. And then I just logged in. The answer. But she gave me a conference room. But that can bang bong. Once, she wanted Timothy Wale. Everybody Chris Akinbade pa olúmọ lórí. Lójú gbogbo wáyà ayé mo tí Chris Akinbade pé rọ́ ni mò ń pa ẹni kó jáde kó fi gbogbo ìgbésí ayé ṣe pé. Woman wa ni olóyè ó tiẹ̀ ti dá Ọ̀túnba ti wọlé gbọ́ ohun ti wọ́n ní madam èmi Abiodun Ojo lẹ́pẹ́ o. Everywhere went dead silent. The whole talk went dead silent. Everybody logged out. Chris Akinbade of Canada. You hear me? If I'm lying, I have your screenshot too. It's not like I understand. Me can need voice recording any, but coffee beach I want shape. They could be bad. And these people coming out and lying and saying, "I will touch over Yoruba. Over Yoruba will let now." And you are going to jockey Georgia.
Ó ní òun ò fàájì fún KOFOWOROLA. Àṣẹ wọn ti mọ̀ pé àwọn ò ní jẹ́ kó jáde sọ́wọ́ wọn. Ẹ máa bọ́rọ̀ yín bọ̀.
Nígbà tá à ń dúró, a kí alàgbà Òkunlọ́lá Adéọlá Adéníyì. Bá mi kí gbogbo ilé o. Ó ṣé. A kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin aráalé. Ẹ kú ìfarabalẹ̀, ẹ kú àdúrótì. Ẹ bá farabalẹ̀ ni o, torí ètò tí a lè ní ó máa lẹ́tìkẹ̀. Ibi tá à ń lọ ò jìnnà, ibi tá máa yà sí òun ni. So bá wa ṣe pẹ̀lẹ́pẹ̀lẹ́ kẹ́ farabalẹ̀. Èní lè ní jẹ́ bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn.
Ẹni àbẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ẹ ṣé bàbá mi. Ìyá wa àwọn ìyá wa Ọmọlára Ògúndáre ń kí yín o, ìyá wa Mọ́dùnní. Gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ̀ fi sọwọ́ ránṣẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ là ń rí campaign. Ẹ ṣé. Wọ́n ní kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí nígbà tá à ń dúró de bàbá ẹgbẹ́ Dr.
Mo lè dáhùn béèrè yẹn.
Ẹ ti dáhùn ẹ̀. Okay.
Owó yẹn ò sí lọ́wọ́ Barrister Kako mọ́ o, ọwọ́ àwọn YSDM ló wà. So ẹ lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn. Kò sówó ọmọ Yorùbá lọ́wọ́ wọn mọ́ YSDM. Nǹkan tó yẹ kán ṣe láti fi gbowó yẹn padà náà àṣẹ. So kán má béèrè owó yẹn tó wà ní Nàìjíríà, but YSDM officials náà kẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn. Then 29,000 YSDM náà ni wọ́n lówó yẹn àpá àwọn ò tí ì ná. So ẹ béèrè gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ béèrè pé kí wọ́n ṣe screenshot account balance from the bank with date. Ibẹ̀ ni bóyá àkókò tó láti máa fi Ògún lákàyé búra àti Ṣàngó Olúkòso. So àwọn ò ní àwọn ẹ̀wọ̀n jiyàn. Báwo la ṣe máa afẹ́ kó títọ́ mọ́ wà nínú ọkàn wa? Wọ́n ní òfin kẹjọ sọ pé ìwọ kò gbọdọ̀ jalè. Ó lè ní nǹkan tí tá à ń wò yìí. Ìwọ kò sì gbọdọ̀ pànìyàn. Àwọn kan wọ́n rẹ́dì kan tiẹ̀ ń sọ ní Alhaji Ibrahim Adéwọnú Adé ọlọ́mọ Kwara lòun ló ń fi Ògún búra. Wọ́n ní gbogbo yín ewé tẹ fẹ́ fi ba ọmọ tọmọnìkejì jẹ́ torí pé wọ́n ń béèrè òtítọ́. Ewé yẹn á kó ọ̀kan Ògún tẹ fẹ́ ṣe yẹn á kó ewé kan ibi tẹ́ bá ti ń lọ já lágbára Olódùmarè ọkọ̀ ìní àkọlù yín tẹ́ ẹ̀ ní lè rí ewé yẹn já mọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni yóò sì rí. Ẹ sòtítọ́, òtítọ́ ní máa gbé orílẹ̀-èdè lékè ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ní ẹ̀gàn orílẹ̀-èdè. Wọ́n pe àwa yìí torí pé àjẹ́ kan gbówó ọmọ Yorùbá jáde, wọ́n pè wá ní saboteur, àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ kán gba Yorùbá nation. Ǹjẹ́ ó dáa bẹ́ẹ̀? September 4 Thursday last year náà a ṣèpàdé, a sọ fún gbogbo àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀. Ìgbà tó di September 8 Monday, September 6 Saturday, ni wọ́n dissolve BOD torí pé à ń yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu àjẹ́ kan gbówó ọmọ Yorùbá jáde. September 8 tó yẹ ká lọ fọwọ́ sí ìwé kémi di treasurer akápò, wọ́n mọ̀ pé owó lè bọ́ sọ́wọ́ àwọn, wọ́n á rí i pé wọ́n bá dissolve ẹ̀. Nítorí náà ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, kò sí owó ọmọ Yorùbá lọ́wọ́ ẹnìkankan tó wà nínú BOD including myself. Ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn YSDM yìí. Tí wọ́n bá sì sọ pé kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀, ká jọ pàdé lórí ètò, ká sì fi Ògún búra. Kì í ṣe pé Christian ni mí tàbí Muslim. Ògún irin la fi ṣe. Olódùmarè ló dá Ògún. Ògún ò sì sọ pé òun ju Olódùmarè lọ. Gbogbo wa la gbàgbọ́ nínú ẹ̀. A mọ̀ pé kíákíá làwọn máa ń ṣèdájọ́. Nítorí náà mo ní nǹkan kan tí mo kọ sílẹ̀ ó ti pẹ́.
No, ṣé ká play.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ẹ mọ̀ kó tó kẹ́ tó play ẹ̀. Mo tún fi dá èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá lójú pé kò wá sí steps kankan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní bí ọ̀rọ̀ àkáǹtì yẹn ṣe rí, bí a ṣe tó bá ṣe recreate àkáǹtì yẹn padà, bá ṣe handle every other thing tí Baba Akintoye and the entire executive and the council was not aware, especially Baba Akintoye from every step, every call, every minute was aware with his blessing. Ẹ kárí ọmọ mi, ẹ kárí ọmọ mi, ẹ kárí ọmọ mi ni. Secondly, ó sọ nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ pé ìyẹn lọ pé Barrister Capo ó lọ open account kan náà jí pé ó sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ di I understand one thing pé òun ló pé bàtí tí of blessed memory àná ní birthday Bishop Macaulay. Kélédùmarè kó bá mi tu ẹbí àti ara wọn nínú. Kélédùmarè kó
olóòótọ́ yìí.
Gbogbo àwọn tó fi ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ náà kó tọ́jú wọn.
Àmín o.
The death of that man in July of of a year before was a really sad one. May the Lord rest his soul.
Àmín.
Kí mo fẹ́ fààyàn ni pé that man yẹn dolóògbé. Tàwọn sọ pé Barrister Capo ló lọ dọ́gbọ́n create account. Ó ní iye ẹ̀bẹ̀ tán bẹ̀ o. Ó ní ẹ̀bẹ̀ tí bàbá bẹ̀ àwọn tí ó bẹ̀ arábìnrin yìí o. Ó wà rẹ̀ ló ná o. Because I don't understand how Emola could present him when he's not even informed himself.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with the first account, cooperative náà ṣe náà dá. Kò lọ sí Kútọ́nù tí mo ti jẹ meeting yẹn o, tẹ́ meeting ọ̀rọ̀ cooperative ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ o. Pastor Agboola ló raise the issue yẹn. Bàbá nínú meeting tá wà ní Kútọ́nù. Gana Agbala was there. I was there. You understand? Don't say, oh my, so maybe we should have a funding because people from the homeland were talking about where Olati was Canada from abroad to Nigeria. And by me, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So they said, let's all create a cooperative. That was the initial thinking. And everybody said yes. And then the cooperative was registered. Pastor Agboola. Then through Bishop Macaulay to elder is like an elderly guy and everything, and very actively involved. These people are spending their money to come to Cotonou for fake news meeting, making it look like a thing that we're doing something really good. You would believe that you're doing something good for your children. Honestly, knowing that we were just serving the interests of some political animals.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to say that, but that's what it appears, and that's what it is. You understand? They wasted people's time, wasted people's money, wasted people's efforts. But you not waste my truth. It's not going to be wasted. Everybody is laying the history. We're all putting down. We're recording our own history. We're telling our stories right now. As you lay your bed, you will lie on it. And history is not going to forget. Our code in Jakari Babi. So they created the cooperative was born. So through Agbola and Bishop Macaulay and everything, they opened the account, they created and everything. Yeah, Alaja, one Alaja, no one. So Bishop at Alaja, not just signatories, second. Usually, YSDM always try to have 2 signatories in accounts. Ele don sọ pé wọ́n tún fẹ́ fi KOFOWOROLA kan sí wọ́n fẹ́ lọ́gbọ́n fi sínú ẹgbọ́ statement yẹn mọ́la. You know, anyone who's reasonable will know that this guy is actually an educated illiterate, if he's educated at all. This is not a personal attack. It's a very honest assessment. It's a brutal, honest. It's a very brutally honest assessment of his cognitive, abilities when it comes to comprehending, how structures work, how government function. Basic 101. So they created another account, but Bishop Boashalaisi initially account Bishop àtijọ́ fẹ́ ní gbọ́nmi sí omi tó lórí ọ̀rọ̀ bí account ṣe rí. Because it's check and balance, and then the finance secretary was supposed to be, the finance director was supposed to be oversee over all of the YSDM accounts. So there was this issue that we have to bring the Ewa on the homeland and the Canada accounts under the same umbrella in the YSDM. Shall I understand? Yes. And then the people that opened the account were trying to say no, but I'm better. You cannot syndicate, don't look my Doctor, Pastor, Kiloruke, to one in UK. Okay, Olo down kan le. Gbogbo minute mo ni. Shey àwọn kan tí wọ́n tá bá to obo furo, tá bá to obo ẹnu mi, they will see themselves outside. Am I just last time mo fẹ́ parí yẹn mọ́. I want to leave that alone for now, because what Emola is saying is pushing me to the point where Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ kí comment ma gbé ẹni kankan nílé. Allah ma jẹ́ kí government come gbé each one, everybody from somewhere. Because when it comes to the truth, let us say it and let us you will not see any of them mentioning my name. None of them will mention my name and say this, because
hallelujah.
Dọ̀là mo sọ pé ojú bọ̀rọ̀ kan ló fi ń gbọmọ lẹ́yìn òkúrẹ́ mi ò sápamọ́ o pé ká fi gbogbo agbára gbogbo ń tábà wù ká lè fi gba agbára gba ìjọba Nàìjíríà mo dúró mo sì dúró ti dọ̀là tábà mú mi sóbẹ̀ mo ti máa ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn àwọn ọmọ tán bí don't cry for me, I know exactly what I'm doing. You understand? But these people will be lying and you want all of this to be outside, you're going to hear it outside. You keep talking trash and trying to throw people under the bus like your leader does. It's not going to happen. It's not going to fly with me. Only a batan beg Barrister Capo, Baba Kitoye. Talk to baby, oh, mami, kilo waste the time. Because they needed the money.
For what?
The woman was saying it takes time, Baba. I don't like to register kini. I don't like to launch kini. She had to use her money initially, and when it finished, yes, YSDM pay her money back. That's true. Once upon account again. When they saw for me, they have minutes. There's record. Are we operating your government in exile? Multiple times in executive council meetings. Because our government Timo lan sọ pé wọ́n lọ register kíní kan tí wọ́n ṣe ní ọ̀nà ẹmọ báwọn yẹn ṣe máa ń yí rọ́pò náà. And then Baba Kitoye will not come out and defend this woman and tell her how much he begged and pleaded with her ẹ ti wá rò pé ọmọ Yorùbá ti gbàgbé. I have the records. Nígbà táwọn ẹ̀dẹ̀ sọ pé well even to the point pé njọ́ta fẹ́ raise ẹ̀ wọ ọ̀ràn mìíràn. Ẹ pé àwọn pínyẹn sọ pé ká má sọ pé Yorùbá nation. Because wọn fẹ́ kí wọ́n link ẹ̀ mọ́ wọn ká wá fi gbé wọn lé. I understand mo sọ fún yín pé Nigerian government and they don't want to be in trouble. Yes, Yoruba nation can be, that was, and Babakito agreed to all that. The council agreed to everything. Àwọn kò mẹ́ta wọn sọ pé who does that? Gbàtẹ́ irú èmi ti lọ ẹ mà wọ́n rí pé mo ti kú mẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ làwọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe yẹn bí ọkà. Do you understand? It was not part of none of this meeting. He was abstaining from most of the things. He was trying to get break up UK, Europe away from YSDM. So ọgbọgbọn ẹni bàbá fi dọ́gbọ́n ṣáà mú padà pé bóyá wọn wò kíkí UK mọ́ fọ́ ni o bóyá wọn wò kíkí ni ask this question kí ni nǹkan tó jẹ́ kálágbàlá lọ because of Emola bàbá sacrifice alágbàlá ẹ wo bí tálágbàlá wà ní ìsìn ní president Ìfẹ́lódùn ṣé Ìfẹ́lódùn ọ̀rẹ́ lẹ́bàá ju YSDM lọ lónìí.
Yeah.
Where are thou? When people don't want like the truth, what happened? Babakito, what happened now to the YSDM? Alagbala Tedogmo Yoni Gini. I was the one that nominated Alagbala to be the security secretary. Baba ni omo mi ò fẹ́ kó lọ fún position. I have something else for you beside me. Don't worry. I understand. You're not there with support to boss or they withdraw candidates here. Right? But I'm party. Baba ni ka close gbogbo email gbogbo text message gbogbo WhatsApp old YSDM can create a new one. Because all of a sudden, the last thing to buy me sorrow before go to the bank, go to the sorrow and come in. The last time I say, secretary, there's no send off, no nothing for all the executives, even that Basha machine. Who did that? Because when Babakito sees that too many, you know too much. And he sees that the lies are coming out, and he wants it's like a turnover thing. You want to replace new ones with, and mostly they like people that cannot think. He wants people that cannot think around him, people that will not ask questions, people that will not. And then where is the YSDM today? What is the relevance of the YSDM today, other than going to raise anything? Raise over for what? To what end? And apart from that, we also already know that the YSDM Yoruba movement was actually sponsored by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was a candidate. And maybe he's still doing it now because elections are better. Are you surprised now they just went to Nigeria back this week? People should pay attention to what's going on. And I'm not going to let people lie about me.
So, you mean he's in Nigeria now? No, láti jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn mọ̀ ni.
I'm not me. Anybody can be a politician and go back into politics. That's not the issue. The issue here is the lies and the deception and the misrepresentation of facts. Those needs to be corrected. You cannot let people get away with that. It is good for truth to struggle with error. Nothing is more fatal to truth than the suppression of error by force. That truth must be told. And our history be written.
Ẹ̀yin aráalé, ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ máa bá wa like. Ó yá.
Who was the ibi méjìlá lákàntì sí Canada àti nílé? Kapo was the board of trustee ní Canada. Kò gbé ní Canada o. She was also then pé àkáǹtì wa tá a open ẹ wà pé Bishop Macaulay ló open àkáǹtì mẹ́ta ló wà ní àkáǹtì.
Ìyálájẹ ẹ bá mi pause ẹ ṣe. Ó ní kò gbé Canada o. Ṣé rí pé question ó ń try láti indict woman ẹni ẹ pé àwọn tó ń pẹ́ àwọn kan náà lọ mú wá láti Nàìjíríà kó wá ṣe board of trust kó jẹ́ board of only board of trust. She's a board member. She's a member of the YSDF. She's a member of that. She's a member of that board, right?
Thanks.
And then the initial YSDM tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ nígbà tó open account yẹn Dr. Shoneke. Ìlú wo ló ń gbé ṣó dé ní Canada yìí?
No.
Ìlú wo ló ń gbé?
Italy, orílẹ̀-èdè Italy.
And he was the chairman of the board. So when people like Emola talked, when he made that statement, mo fẹ́ gauge intelligence here. Yeah, because that about solve when our clear. Most of the Yoruba people don't follow Yoruba Nation. A lot of them, we're all Yorubas. We all have our different professions. You understand? And English is not our language. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, but when you see the level of when somebody is exhibiting ignorance, kò ṣọ̀rọ̀ pé mo gbóyìnbó àmì ògbóyìnbó kọ́ lélẹ̀. Àríyàn ọmọ Yorùbá tí ògbóyìnbó tí iye ẹ̀ pé tí intelligence ẹ̀ tó high. And this man is talking to everybody as though somebody who is in Nigeria cannot. So how come Capo was registered in Canada as somebody who can be a member of the board? Was that not registered? It was in registration with Canada. Just like Shoneke from Italy was also registered in there. The only thing is she cannot be a signatory because it has to be somebody who can sign physically in Canada. That's where AARINOLA and Olanewaju Olatuji came in.
And Gloria Odunlami.
Gloria, I'm sorry. So what's she talking about? What King got to make sense? Go Canada. Go Canada. Shoneke Canada, and he was the chairman of the board initially. The very first YSDM, got to revamp.
Okay, sir.
County, Bishop Macaulay was the chairman. So, Owa Meji, Lady Mani, ṣe dáadáa, òun lòun mọ bóun ṣe máa ṣe dáadáa.
Ẹ pọ̀ sí ẹ̀.
Ọ̀dà kan lédi yẹn náà dọ̀tí.
Ẹ pọ̀ sí ẹ̀. Kò sí lédi kan tí wọ́n sọ pé òun ò ṣe dáadáa. Kí n clear dáadáa, kò sẹ́ni tó bá wọn argue. Ẹni pé mo sọ fún yín pé kí Bishop Macaulay tó dolóògbé, issue ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí àkáǹtì yẹn tí mo ní mo wà involved pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Táwọn kan rò pé àwọn láti máa fowó ṣe business. Only because cooperative làwọn register. Mo sọ fún yín pé ọ̀rọ̀ cooperative yẹn Kútọ́nù ló ti jáde. Pastor Agbola was in the meeting. Bishop Macaulay was there at that meeting. Alagbala was there. And so many people from the homeland. And some people from actually the current president of the YSDM USA Canada and USA was there in that meeting. In Canada, and General was there. And they said we create a cooperative. But that cooperative cooperative account must be operative in a way. So there must be record of one year one get. So àwọn fẹ́ máa ṣe yẹn ní YSN no ẹ máa lo ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ máa rí ara yín lówó ọmọ yàrá yín ní kíní ṣe ti get ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. So there was a need now to change the account from cooperative. Àwọn yẹn sọ pé Bishop Macaulay sọ pé wọ́n ti gbé òun lọ sẹ́wọ̀n àwa wá jókòó lá ǹjẹ́ bọ́gà ní Amẹ́ríkà àwọn ń gbé wọn dẹ̀ ti mú máa yẹn tó tọ́rí. Tọ́lọ́pàá ti gbé tó pé issue ni. So there was a need to change the account from cooperative. So I'm okay. Kishenkati Omo Yoruba sọ pé ṣe cooperative account. The YSDM account is a YSDM account. Even though everyone on me is any cooperative get. Ṣé pé bá ṣe dá YSDF kalẹ̀, YSDF account in Canada. Ṣé pé kò ṣe YSDM náà lórúkọ ti account in Nigeria. Ṣé you understand? But instead of making it a foundation or something else, they made it a cooperative. And then because of the rules of operation on the operative rules in Nigeria for cooperative account, YSDM will limit here. I want to handle it. Dr. Macaulay at the Alaja Ike. Not just security, I understand. So no account here. They could not, they're saying that they will not go to jail. But we have to operate the cooperative, and then YSDM say we're going to change the account. Cooperative. Unfortunately, Bishop Macaulay could.
I'm not sure.
And when Bishop Macaulay kú tí Emolai tó bá pọ́n attend meeting dáadáa tó bá pọ́n kan wà nínú àwọn ministers nǹkan tó ń sọ tó bá pọ́n gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ throughout the whole period, he will have understood and known how the YSDM had to plead with Barrister Capo because she's in the homeland. Again, to work with because Macaulay kú tán Àyìnkẹ́ Alájà Àyìnkẹ́ àti àwọn tó ń jọ kóra wọn jọ ẹgbẹ́ mo sọ pé Pastor Okebiorun yìí ó ti kọ́kọ́ dá àwọn kankalẹ̀ tán pé wọ́n ní àwọn tán pé wọ́n ní gọ́vnà ní Nàìjíríà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation náà ni ó ní orúkọ kan tán pé wọ́n àwọn gọ́vnà tán máa ń wọ́n fún orúkọ kan
coordinator kan ni
irọ́ wọ́n fún wọn lórúkọ Yorùbá kan Yorùbá name ni ìmọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yóò ti click fáwọn èèyàn ẹ jẹ́ kí n login sórí kọ̀mpútà mi but àbí tí n bá rántí màá ṣàlẹ̀.
alábòjútó no.
irọ́ àwọn ló jẹ́ ẹlẹ́kùn these are the ẹlẹ́kùns ṣe understand àwọn ẹlẹ́kùn yẹn ni Okebiorun dálẹ̀ nígbà yẹn tán náà fi wọ́n ṣe governor most of them they are interested in all in power. They thought they're going to become governors. These people were not really interested in ruling in getting Yoruba free nation. They want to be like the politicians that we currently have. They'll be worst. So the Elekuns thought, because Bishop Macaulay is like their leader, is one of their leaders there, they thought the account that we created for them in the homeland, pay account and money. You understand? So one can understand that Ayinke was not too clear about this. Again, not all of us went, understand how process works. And she was cooperative eventually in releasing the account and making sure that they were able to register it under a different name, not under the cooperative. But by the time here, a meeting get ready to go. So I was not interested anymore. But they succeeded in registering another one. And they succeeded in transferring the money over there, other particular Bhutan. The ones up where only any can say that. You know how people manipulate, manufacture lies and tell lies? When in fact, after his death, they were pleading with this woman to, we eventually get another thing and, to be able to get that account so that because so it has to take a lot of work. And because this one is, the woman is also an attorney, she was able to also help with getting all that done. And then she keep asking, are we running a government exam? Because our problem. On a ṣetán ẹ bá fẹ́ wọn ní ọ̀wọ́n kò ní ẹ bá fẹ́ máa raise fund lórí bí ẹ má sọ pé Yorùbá nation because ẹ má kọ́ wọn sí yọ́yọ́yọ́ o wọ́n tẹ̀lé àwọn gbọ́ irú àwa tí wàá kúrò mẹ́tàn later ni mo ń gbọ́ story tí wọ́n máa ń sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ kó bọ́ wa lélẹ́yìí orúkọ tẹ́ ń dá ìgbé kí ló dé tó bá ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ wá gba àkáǹtì yín òun ò ṣe mọ́ ẹ dẹ̀ ní kó
wọ́n tún fẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ identity wọn pé why time béèrè identity.
yẹn ni pé kí ni nǹkan tẹ̀ ń ṣe pé òun ò lè kóra wọn sí wàhálà pé ẹgbà àkáǹtì yín wọ́n dẹ̀ ní pé kó lọ resign.
We don't want you to invite us with cowardice.
Gbogbo resignation letter the woman deliberately forwarded it to me too. The check tó fún wọn tí Pastor Agbala ló gba check wọn lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. I have a copy with me. Because the woman said, General Secretary, I just want to have you. I want to make sure that you also have this copy, even though
Benny, will make sense.
She gave the check to them. I don't understand it. I don't understand what the wall of their crap is. Wọ́n fi tèmi tọkàn tara ṣiṣẹ́ tán dem try to raise the why when YSDM was really meaningful and people believed
that there was sincerity and honesty, and that we're really fighting for our future. We're fighting for the survival of our nation. Everyone that worked hard like in that way eventually was blamed. Ashotitaye Olushikalu. Ika, not fún wọn padà. Bàbá kí tó yé mọ̀ sí o. Somebody told me one day, only Baba Kitoye is a ruthless politician. Only I will not be surprised. Tí mi ní sọ̀rọ̀ ìtókù. Ṣé àpọ̀jù gbangba wáyà ìmọ̀ ti sọ yìí? Káwọn yẹn pín lọ everywhere kí ó dọ́wọ́dọ̀ Baba Kitoye gan. Tí máa ń parọ́ kí ilẹ̀ kó mú mi. Tí máa ń sọ òótọ́ kó dá mi láre. You understand what I'm saying? These people, and then everyone that worked hard, they threw them under the bus and then they want to start with fresh people that don't know nothing and then start the same old cycle. What is the cycle? Now we know it is working for Tinubu. That movement was meant to work to make sure that Yoruba man become president. That's all I meant Tinubu. Otherwise, once or lórí ọ̀rọ̀ sòwò rẹ̀, dọ̀tún mẹ́wàá wọn lè sọ anything lórí ẹ̀. Ṣé kí mo ń sọ tí wọ́n bá jẹ́ olóòótọ́, tó bá jẹ́ olódodo, ara kì í wá yá ọ.
Kí ni sòwò rẹ̀ sọ ń pa yẹn?
Ṣé pé wọn dárúkọ Emola dárúkọ mi nínú tẹ́pù yẹn o? Ṣé ara ò yá mi láti sọ̀rọ̀? Mo sì ń gégùn tó bá bí wọn lè kán jáde bẹ́ẹ̀ kan sí pé níwájú ọmọ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ kán play tape yẹn ṣe.
Okay sir, ìyá wa èèyàn ní ẹlẹ́kùnjẹkùn ní orúkọ yín sir.
Àwọn ẹlẹ́kùn ló pè wọ́n, àwọn ẹlẹ́kùn title tó fún wọn nìyẹn. Òkè bí ọ̀run ló dá wọn lẹ̀. Àyìn náà ẹ mọ̀ kó tó di kó dé sórí Paul lẹ́yẹ ọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ nù ìwé kọ́bọ̀, and these people were working the same thing, they all know the same thing they were doing. Tí máa sọ pé there was a syndicate méjì nu wọn lẹ ti gbọ́ yẹn. Òkè bí ọ̀run wà nù wọn, Paul lẹ́yẹ wà nù wọn, Bàbá Kitoye mo bìlí para wọn ni. Àwọn méjì wà ní South Africa. Mo mẹ́nìkan l'Amẹ́ríkà mi ní ti sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ẹ̀, ó ti jọ tọrọ bá tọrọ.
Daddy ń béèrè pé kí ni Sowore sọ. A máa play ẹ̀ later sir. Ẹ jẹ́ ká. So, ẹni kí n tẹ̀síwájú àbí?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni mà.
Ìrántí ó pẹ̀ mọ́ pé ẹ lọ gbé lédì kan. Pápò so pé ló bá ṣáà confuse bàbá ní òkè kó lọ open account. That lady now called one person. Àwọn méjì jọ wá lọ open account fún organization. Ẹ wá ọ̀rọ̀ míyàn. Gbàtọ̀ open yẹn ni bàbá ní ká lọ launch ẹ̀. Làbá bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé bàbá and me I'm see the end.
Ẹni tó ní bàbá ní káwọn lọ launch ẹ̀ ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ so dá sí launching ẹ wá ọ̀ràn mìíràn. Because èmi ò tí kó YSDM gbàtà launch ẹ wá ọ̀ràn mìíràn. Samuel Yabayo was the finance director. Gbàtà launch ẹ wá ọ̀ràn mìíràn. It was a huge success. One of the beautiful points, one of the beautiful things I will ever remember in that movement. Even though Babata had 40, so many of us Barawa, especially with the media. Láàrin Yẹ̀yẹ́ Dára àti Yoruba world media. Wọ́n àti 40 èmi àti Ọ̀túnba tán fẹ́ fi lu kótó. I understand, Ọlọ́run ló kàn fún wa ní làákàyè. Ọ̀túnba ó ní ibo la fẹ́ gbé sí báyìí. Èmi náà ní Ọlọ́run kọ̀ wá. Yálàjé, àìsàn àìwò. Tọ̀sán tó rú ni o ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ yìí o.
Mo mọ̀ sọ.
Ẹ fẹ́ forí aago mẹ́wàá mo mi ní kòtò ẹyọ kan. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ wà rán mi ẹ béèrè pé bo ní ẹ̀bọ̀ làwà ṣó bá wọn tó ní bàbá ní ká lọ lọ́ọ̀ṣẹ́ ẹ máa ṣó dá sí ẹ máa wọ̀ rán mi ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀.
Àbí à ń béèrè.
Èlò ló dá sí nígbà tá a kọ́kọ́ lọ́ọ̀ṣẹ́ how much was his money into ẹ wọ̀ rán mi yàn. Dada nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ èmi $200 mo fi sínú ẹ̀ initial on the opening day. Ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ pé ló dá sí.
Ẹ̀yin ará lé ẹ jẹ́ ká béèrè à ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ Káyọ̀dé.
And on the first day we were able to raise close to almost mi fẹ́ parọ́ lórí ọ because mo ṣe àwọn kọ́mọ́sọ́ but mo lè lọ wo record to tell how much millions we were able to raise that single first day in naira. One man was on flight. He donated 1 million naira. Come fly that to UK, but we were in Europe going back to Nigeria or something. Everyone was so popular. Then, when YSDM is doing things, you see these things on the media. We don't hide. We broadcast. We put press releases. We make all of these things. And then, okay, periodically, we call the Yoruba into session. All Yoruba, whether Ojomebeka or Ojomebeka, people will log in and be able to hear and listen to what's going on, deliberations that's going on. The job with everybody. That's why. Lẹ́yìn pé kẹ́ dáwó, tó bá fẹ́ kẹ́ dáwó ẹ gbọ́. Wọ́n ṣe nǹkan kankan ní pé ọmọ Yorùbá. Bóyá lẹ́yìn tá bá ṣe show yìí. Ẹ̀rí o, wọ́n tún sọ pé bàbá fẹ́ bá àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ ní gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri. Because this is how I know they're paying attention to what he's saying here. Àwọn tó nípa àwọn wá crowd káàkiri. Wá crowd agbo kékeré má bẹ̀rù. Eléyìí tẹ̀rí. Agbo ìkẹ́mi tẹ̀rí. Dídùn ní Olúwa láti sọ di ńlá. Lórí òtítọ́ ẹni. Wọ́n ní wọ́n fẹ́ ní àfẹ́ pay mind. Ẹ̀mí wo lẹ̀ pay mind. Because tí kì í bá ṣe show yìí, mọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ ti fẹ́ pa fọ́mọ Yorùbá ni. Èèmọ̀ lájẹ́ kí n rán létí number 1. Irọ́ tẹ́ kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ pa ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí passport, diplomatic passport.
Love you. Yeah, diplomatic.
No. The first line ni pé ẹ fẹ́ ṣe rally. Tí mo ní wọn ní ṣe rally ẹyọ kan. Èmi Abiodun Ojo mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Tí mo ní kò ní sí rally kan. They didn't have no rally. But because of what I said on this platform, àwọn kan sáré kóra wọn jọ pé kí wọ́n gbé bàbá wa sórí world media. Kó sọ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ rally ẹ má jókòó síwájú lé o. Ẹni pé mo lè question after that ń gbé. Mo ní one doctor from Texas. Ó béèrè lọ́wọ́ Queen Dara and Queen Ara. Pé gba wọn ní kíní ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ pé ẹ kàn sọ̀rọ̀ nípa homeland ní ṣé àwọn táwọn diaspora kò sí sọ fún wa kíni nǹkan tí àwa náà máa ṣe for the rally àbí ṣé homeland nìkan náà fẹ́ ṣe rally ni. Mo sọ fún yín lórí òkè pé lórí platform yìí pé that happened because this rally was hastily put together by a few people. It did not follow the normal protocol. Normal protocol is there will be a rally, the executive will discuss. They will pinpoint. Yes, Baba will make a determination of what date is going to happen. The executive will call a council meeting. The secretary will call a council meeting. We'll bring the report of the executive to the council. The council will listen and pay attention. People will ask questions and say, how is this going to go? One determine if there will be committees, they will appoint committees. You understand? Mm-hmm. It will be ratified. How much is the cost? If they approve the funding. The general secretary will issue the memo. They will release the funds to whoever, and then the rally was supposed to start. Again, Baba let's announce the rally is starting so day. That did not happen. Out of nowhere, Yoruba world media. Out of nowhere, rally wa ma bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́la yìí. Kàn máa wọṣọ funfun. Jókòó síwájú lẹ́yìn. Mo flag yín dání ní gbogbo ìlú wa káàkiri. You have done something that nobody has ever done in the world. The Yoruba people have done something. Tony, àṣìǹkàtà yóò ṣe rí. Àjókòó síwájú aláfẹ́ gba orílẹ̀-èdè. Wọ́n sì ní kẹ́ jókòó síbẹ̀. After a few days, àwọn á sọ fún yín the next steps. Ó ti ń lọ sí bí ọdún kan ní ìsìn. Ìgbà oríta táwọn èèyàn jókòó sí ẹ̀nà jókòó sí. No further feedback. That was the first lie. When I told them there will be no rally, they came out like that and lied to the Yoruba people and put Baba's face on TV with his voice, and everybody can hear it. That will be his legacy. Because if it was during my tenure and Otumba Olamala, when we were still actively involved and working next to Baba, we would not have allowed him to put his face like that. Not on something stupid like that. So if Mola with the rest of the people put Baba in that, you've created a permanent record that is very hard for Baba to erase. That legacy is not going to go. That's number one. How I know that you're listening is because you said you wanted to have a diplomatic passport. Go in and diplomatic passport. You know, and I said that was the first place he could disappoint me, number one. Because number one, he was one of those came into EGBE. He is the one that's always talking about this thing and bringing that, and I really like the passion because of the aggression. Gbogbo ìpàdé tí mo ní kò gbó kọ̀rọ̀ gbàpàdé tí mo ti dín ẹ lọ béèrè àwọn nǹkan tí mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ìsìn ní parọ́ So I love that passion about him. But when he said that statement about diplomatic passport, somebody of that nature, a whole Koiki, to be talking about diplomatic passport, what type of nonsense is this? Is he also in cahoots with all this nonsense? So, the idiot. Because when you mention these things to people in the world, they'll be looking at you. Passport, I approached an attorney and I told him I really wanted this is what I wanted, and he told me, do you have a consul? Where's the consulate? But you want to institute only so consulate who is the Secretary of State? Mo had pause. Because we really YSDM, and I hated the nonsense they were doing. And go this time, you know what? I'm going to come online, and I said it then. It was because of this show. At the end of the day, money tape, we call recorded tape. Then the confidential similarity or the Babakitoye. Láwọn tó súnmọ́ wọn dáadáa. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ diplomatic passport mi ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́bẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ tí mo wà yìí. Òdìjọ́ tí ọba tẹ́lẹ̀ mi bá tọwọ́ bọ̀ mí lẹ́nu. That's number 2. That's how to tell you that you're listening to this show. You're listening, paying attention, and this show has stopped you guys in your tracks. Ebati bere Ruba, because it was in your plan to start a Ruba again. The same Ruba to Yoruba prescribed and to Yoruba turn issue disclaimer against, which was the same guy, Bishop Bishop to paro diplomatic passport fún yín. Ọ̀nà ló tún fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ru the same person.
Agbola, yeah.
No, Bishop
Additional.
They wanted to start that. They couldn't start it. About to bẹ̀rẹ̀ nǹkan tí mo ṣe mọ̀ pé listen sí wa ni pé ìgbà tẹ́ tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ tẹ́ ní pé ẹ fẹ́ máa yan àwọn diplomats. We're going to have a representative in Canada, going to have a representative in China, going to send an ambassador to Cuba. And we have to fund them. And about here, let's all the video was you guys ended up in that trap because we came out and we debunked it. You couldn't move forward with it. Momo Beshenra and ministries like to cancel me show because I like Oto. I know how much you've tried to get Yalaje to cancel me on this show. You cannot stop me on this show. You will not be able to people don't know. You're going to find out the hardest way. You're going to find the hard way.
Okay.
Because a lot of us coming.
Yeah.
Let me leave it alone there. But the truth will be told. One crowd. What are the people looking for? It is the truth that is coming to you. The truth that is making you uncomfortable. The truth that you cannot debunk. Otherwise, you should daru komi na. But on the other day, one attack Yalaje. Mi ABIODUN ló yẹ kẹ́ mọ̀ pé ẹ ní láti sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni ẹlẹ́ni. Ọlọ́run kan fi kẹ́ mi, ó fi orí ìkànnì yìí, orí platform yìí, ó fi jíǹkẹ́ mi. Nínú òtítọ́ sí ló ti já láwáyé. Nínú inú kan.
Yeah, that's
nínú
right.
ọkàn kan. Ní platform yìí ló ti wá
ṣé kí èmi náà dá sí tí mo kọ
Ẹ ṣé
nípa
kan bẹ́ẹ̀ni sá.
àwọn ajínkan jẹ.
No, Daddy, ṣe jẹ́ ká kú play kíní ìjálẹ̀ tán náà sà.
Bóyá kọ́ sáré sọ̀rọ̀ ìyá alájà máa play ẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ kó sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú.
Okay, sir.
Ogun ẹ jẹ́ ká pé ẹ jẹ́ ká délẹ̀. Yálàjẹ ẹ play rẹ̀.
Okay, ṣe pé ká play ẹ̀ tán. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Daddy. Okay.
And from the beginning, I'm not God, but I have discerning of spirit. What I saw is that our people, if we now have say 100 million, what close account, I say it.
What a lie.
I cannot follow you and go and launch the account.
No. I mean, irọ́ ni gbogbo eléyìí now.
Okay.
Báwo làwọn èèyàn ṣe ní conscience báyìí?
Okay.
Anyway, I have a note. Kí Dr. Ojo ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ń pẹ̀.
No. Ṣé kí n dúró àbí ká máa play ẹ lọ sí?
Ẹ máa play.
Okay.
Ṣé pè mí sir?
Mo ní comment lórí ìdánṣẹ́ play yẹn.
Èwo ni ẹ? Ẹjọ́ mi, I was on the phone ní mi ò ṣe gbọ́ ẹjọ́.
Okay. Ẹ tún play Ìyá Alájẹ.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'm not going. Go and work together. Within the next 3 weeks. The first meeting, clarify money. Why is this account not? Only this account, is it under the YSDM finance? Only no, it's not under YSDM finance. Money finance, no, you go more account to anywhere. It's not some random people take or select.
Pause.
So, Bani could work back. So, account
wọ́n dìbò yẹn ni wọlé ni.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Hold on, can you pause right away, have you?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, sir.
Okay. Nǹkan tí ó sọ láàrin yẹn. Yes. Àárín tó sọ yẹn pé every account number YSDM bá operate ó yẹ kó wà under the YSDM finance, the finance department, the finance secretary. That is 100% correct. So mi ò mọ bí tán ta sọ pé ṣe àwọn kó sọ níbo ti kúrò, èmi ti kúrò. I left. But before I left, we make sure, even látàyè Bishop Macaulay ibẹ̀ ni wàhálà ti fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀, that's why the YSDM have to have oversight on all of the accounts. The Department of Finance must coordinate the activities. And to the best of my knowledge, till tomorrow, mo gbàgbọ́ pé Samuel Yabayo was overseeing all of the accounts. Even though àwọn tó register account to Canada, I understand. I'm not sure Oyabayo is he's not a member of the board, but he's the finance head from the YSDM, so he joins them in their board of meetings. You understand? Mm-hmm. That's how we can able to so that you can the same thing with Nigeria. And to one Nigeria, yes, Barrister Capo, Nibiti or Tozape on a Muya Kamatikini, Kilode Toshe one YSDF. Because Barrister Capo was one of those that opened the account in Nigeria, and to be in the YSDF, the board of trustees of the YSDF, and have these bodies in one umbrella, she has to be a member of the board of trustees of the board. So yes, 100%. The finance secretary and under the who is the head of the finance department oversees all of the YSDM accounts, including the YSDF as well as and agricultural whatever. So want to cooperative society. Want to saw the agriculture something. I don't know. I left. So if he's saying that should be under the finance department, yes, it is. It has to be. So that's 100% correct. Go on.
Okay, sir.
Public alert is not for YSDM.
Pause.
We are coming there to support.
Mo sọ fún wa bí kí ó máa tó agree láti ṣe nǹkan kan sọ fún wa pé homeland àwọn ń gbé. Àwọn ò lè jẹ́ ká associate àwọn mọ́ YSDM, Yoruba Nation in Yoruba Self-Determination Movement. Àbẹ́ẹ̀kọ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ṣé bàbá Akíntóyè mọ̀ sí ṣé kò béèrè ni? Ṣé kí n gbé fídíò àti rẹ́kọ̀dù àti council executive council meeting àti council ratification tó wá ń bì ṣì kí n gbé jáde tán bá ní kí n sọ síta káyé listen sí gbogbo ẹ̀ gbogbo ohun tá a sọ nínú meeting yẹn. Ṣé Capo ò béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn pé are we running a government in exile? She's an attorney. She does not want to get in trouble. She lives in the homeland. But at the launching, make sure. She made sure that we don't say it is YSDM. Our compliant and raise over them. Everyone's like, we're not in Chebe. On what day, but they can participate. He doesn't participate in these things, and if he comes, he probably don't pay attention. Most of the time, not about now. I'm looking at adman distracting with everything. You understand? So where is it coming from with this information? Where is it coming from? Boni Boboru yentiwa. Àwọn barista kapo so nǹkan tó wọ́n sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ now. Tí YSDM dey agree pẹ̀lú bàbá Akíntóyè masi. Eri o bàbá tó ní wọ́n lè sọ̀rọ̀. He will not come out and defend that woman. He has done it to countless other people too. Baba Iloge is one of them. The first victim. Tell me kọ́kọ́ rí nìyẹn. Ṣé mi ò kàn sọ̀rọ̀ lọ sọ̀rọ̀ bàbá Akíntóyè Iloge because one gbàtọ́ kúrò YSDM wọ́n á lọ how can you come and then say all of a sudden you're now saying I left YSDM and now you start talking about regionalism? You know, you were convincing people and people were bringing money into EGBE, saying that Yoruba nation for like almost 2 years. All of a sudden, I understand. I don't. That's why I couldn't talk. I'm not gonna. I understand. Otherwise, he threw every other thing. The man really worked hard. Everything to nail for the YSDM. At this stage, you Christy, the Motun Jerry. Gbogbo egun tó mo ta yín bẹ́lẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ tó wá pé ọmọ pa. Bàbá kí tó pè mí, bàbá Ayédòkè pè mí jọ́ kan ní ABIODUN. Mo ní sà. Mo ní ṣé kìí ṣe pé wọ́n kàn fi wá ṣe àpapín àpàjẹ ní Kòtònú báyìí. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ owó iná ni o. Ẹlẹ́dàá wọn sí èmi ò kúkú bá wọn bàbá kiri ẹ máa pé mi ò ń bá bàbá Ayédòkè sọ̀rọ̀. Bọ̀ ẹlẹ́dàá olúkálùkù tí n bá parọ́ mọ́ yóò mọ fìyà jẹ mí. Tọ́lá pé òótọ́ ni mo sọ yóò mọ jẹ́ kọ́nà mi ó dáa.
Àmín.
Bàbá Ayédòkè have to call me one day and say mo ní sà ó ní ṣé kìí ṣe pé àwọn Kútọ́nù yìí pé wọ́n fi wá ṣe àpapín báyìí. Pé because ó ń jọ gádé òwe pé kí ni nǹkan tí gbogbo eléyìí gbá ibo la ń lọ. Èmi jẹ́ nǹkan tí òun sọ̀rọ̀ tó máa ń fẹ́ kí nǹkan play out. You understand? And I thank God the way I handled my way out in that place. I want to say, look at the statement he's making there. When these people ask you, what they make sure we can clarify, but they violate nǹkan tẹ́ di agree pẹ̀lú wọn tẹ́lẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ pé àwọn ò ní ṣe mọ́ àwọn yọ wá àtẹ̀sẹ̀ àwọn ẹ̀dẹ̀ nìkan kó yín kalẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀?
Kò sí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ sir.
Ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ play ẹ̀ ń sọ.
Support them for their Yoruba program tó ń ṣe. But me, I would not follow to go and do that kind of thing. I love fundraising for Yoruba Nation. I was of one place not for Yoruba Nation. We name me law. We need a law and I will not support it. Law or Kosha. Before you know it,
YSDM tá à ń sọ yìí náà àkáǹtà ní Canada yẹn èmi tí mo eventually established tí mo jẹ́ kó link wà between Yoruba Nation Self-Determination Movement and Yoruba Self-Determination Foundation ni. Ẹni pé mo sọ fún yín pé oyè Abíóyè tí ń sọ pé YSDM has no legal standing pé kó à ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. You understand? Because the YSDM is an entity on its own legally, and that YSDM is not even registered. Talo establish it. I established it through memos and minutes. To make sure one meeting. To make sure link here. I understand.
Yes.
More established memo get this in here. And there was a time called Berry. Timbank Paro, Eleda one B. But look at you Abíódun say money to wise and back by me láyè. Money my lord Joko ní Canada. My bear lost to pẹ̀lẹ́. Money comes up me I understand pé boy ma sin there one. Money mi ò sì ní ilé pín ní lọ́wọ́ YSDM. Ṣé mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀? I will spend my money on that. Kani pé kí n má wọlé kan ǹjẹ́ àṣẹ rọ́nà pàtàkì láti jọ ẹ̀ tí gbogbo àdán. We sat down, some of us believed 100%, 1000% in what we were doing. We thought we were doing something good for our children. They make us to offend everybody else. They make us think, you understand? I make sure I step lórí ara yín lọ. Oya be ni kò lè fojú gire wò mí dọ̀la. Èmi náà lè fojú gidi wò mo kàn máa wò pé well, because tó pé mi no ni. If he had something he was really fighting for, he would have walked away. Tó bá ti rí pé bàtí mi rí pé kò tẹ́ mi lọ́rùn pé mi ò ṣàgbé ìrọ́kẹ́ ọ̀dọ̀ àbí kí n máa parọ́ tàn kí n máa sojú ayé. I left it alone, I walked out. Mo sì sọ òótọ́ mi fáwọn èèyàn pé irọ́ ló wà bí o, mi ò lè ṣe mọ́. That's what he should have done. Instead, òun sọ pé òun refuse láti answer. Meanwhile, the YSDM owns the YSDF. You're saying you cannot. Who are you? You're in there, but you're not. You're trying to sabotage your whole thing. Do you understand? Because in Koton so, you don't. Nobody acts like that. So, how is the YSDF different from everyone in your homeland? Because if it's ascribed to the YSDM, then they can freeze the account. No government can freeze the account of the YSDF now because we make sure it's a whole entity on its own. But Nigeria is on a different homeland. It's a different entity on its own. We all know Nigeria is way different. And the people are saying, don't mention our names. Don't ascribe this to Yoruba nation. And they told us before it was even established. We agreed with them. Because he is novice, he doesn't know the root cause of the whole thing. He didn't know how all of these things was established. But Baba Akintoye knows. That's to tell you why is he complicit? And I know the reason why. Baba Akintoye died to get rid of people when he believes they've served their time and he wants new fresh people that don't know much. He doesn't want to deal with people that has intellect. He does not want to deal with people that ask questions. He does not like questioning. I understand. He wants to be a bulldozer that just bulldoze his way through, whether it's wrong or right. Kò sẹ́nìkan tí ó rúlu ọmọ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀. Kágbọ́n lédè wa lọ́la, kò sẹ́nìkan tó máa rúlu ọmọ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀. Tí ọmọ Yorùbá tá a mọ̀ kì í ṣe orí wa ò gbálẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ẹ ṣe ẹ continue.
Mama bínú ẹjọ́.
Àwọn tó lẹ́nu sọ pé wọn ò wá ẹ̀. Last week Alájẹ́, mo send the voice note kan sí yín.
Yeah.
So from people around Baba Akintoye telling me to stop talking.
Only can cease fire.
Àwọn tó sọ pé àwọn wá show èèyàn ń wá èèyàn yìí, but you will not stop òótọ́ mi tí mo ń sọ. You're not gonna. They know all these talks that all of this good time, I listened to all of it. At first, I wanted to actually. Yalaji kini mo sọ fún yín na mo ní ma dákẹ́ ma bò wọ́n for a while. Kí n gbọ́ message kí n tó gbọ́ statement Emolai. The more I hear things like this, the more nobody can stop me from talking. Ọlọ́run nìkan ló lè kí n dákẹ́ tí ma dákẹ́.
Ṣé.
I think
Kofo is sneaking into the account in Canada. Go on the delete signatory. Come take over account YSDM.
Because I was the treasurer.
This account is for YSDM. It's not for you. Awalama decide I want to go with the body, not you.
Can you imagine?
Nobody.
Check in person. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's some
board member has already been established.
Yeah.
So our the YSDM already had the board already filled. This is somebody.
And again, somebody comment in delay.
That's not balanced.
The board member removed 25,000, invested it for the money to be yielding. We are trying to.
Bàbá ẹ̀yàn owó ọmọ tí Yorùbá tí wọn kì í fọwọ́ kàn kì í ṣe pàánù náà owó yìí. Wọ́n ń fọwọ́ kàn rárá. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní instead of máa jókòó kí wọ́n invest ẹ̀.
Yeah. Àwọn ṣe tọkàntọkàn ni.
But àwọn fẹ́ wọ́n fẹ́ tọwọ́ bọ̀ wọn lọ fẹ́ fi lo ṣòkú number one. lẹ́yìn òkú náà rí owó yẹn gbà ń gbà òkú tán láti fẹ́ tọwọ́ bọ̀ fún nǹkan míì. Nígbà tán ro gbà náà gbé Ọlátúnjí náà pressurize ẹ̀ ìyẹn kọ́kọ́ gbé 5,000 lé wọn lọ́wọ́ another 5,000.
Àṣà fáìnì lórí yẹn o almost $300 dípò kó yield.
Jẹ́ ń gbọ́ owó tán ni wọ́n náà nìyẹn o. Ẹ ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá ọ̀sẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kan gbé àkáǹtì ọmọ Yorùbá jáde kan publish ẹ̀ sí gbogbo. So they can publish it. YSDF publish your account. Constituent or account ẹlẹ́ẹ̀ náà.
Àwa kọ́ finance director ní ìgbà àwò ìgbà táṣà wá ka article of association fún finance director kí Ọ̀yábáyọ̀. And he saw that he was on the wrong.
Baba mi pause ẹ.
Baba whoever.
Ẹ bá mi pause ẹ. Yes. Again, mo fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn wa kan gbọ́ dáadáa láàrin yìí because he might be thinking, you know, he himself maybe is a little slow, and I don't mean to ridicule him, but what he's vomiting out of his mouth. Telling me that he's not really, you know, he's not seriously alert. Number one, the article of association is an article of association for the YSDM, Yoruba Self-Determination Movement. In the article of association, show yes, YSDM, Loni, YSDF, at the financial. I understand.
Yeah.
The article of association does not determine the function of the board because the board itself is an independent entity. If you want to look at it like that, nǹkan tí ABIODUN sọ nìyẹn. Tí mo ṣe ní pé mo lo memos àti conference kìíní láti tie YSDM pẹ̀lú YSDF, and then in my emails to them, you understand? Mo establish understanding yẹn quietly. Kí n tó sọ̀rọ̀ sí i pé mo ti establish. I understand nǹkan mo fi. So there's no there's no legal, YSDM has no legal standing and cannot stand legal cause to try them as a board. Get pé no yes sọ pé àwọn kan fraudulently lọ kó nǹkan get him something because those entities are independent, supposedly to be independent, even though we understand that the YSDM oversees and actually owns them. So what is he talking?
So
the same thing with what about the rules of the operate of the open air? It's based on Nigerian rules and whatever establishment. It is us that now coordinate them into the YSDM through the YSDF by making one of them a board member inside the YSDF. And then they also understand that Ọ̀yábáyọ̀ will have access to those accounts and view access. Shall I get? Yes. Other than that, the function is nothing. The finance department is to ensure the ètò ìṣúná ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ọmọ Yorùbá, owó ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ̀sí níwọ̀n gbọ́dọ̀ fọwọ́ kàn. Àwọn yẹn ń wò pé instead of mama dágún. Tó bá yẹ pé owó mi náà ní tí mo ní irú owó yẹn lọ́wọ́ ṣebí màá lọ invest sí nǹkan tó lè tó máa yí. Get? These people didn't have to go to no council to ask for gbàtí ṣe pé owó yín dín. Owó yóò disappear. They put it in a fixed deposit to yield because in the history of the YSDM we never touched that money. Àkàrà dórí ẹ̀kan yín ó dégun. Ọdọọdọ tí wọ́n ní ìsìn wọ́n fẹ́ tọwọ́ bọ̀. Kí ni reason? Ṣé nǹkan burúkú ni àwọn Ọ̀yábáyọ̀ àti finance àti àwọn BOD?
Yeah.
They didn't take the money for themselves. They didn't take it to their account. They put the money into investment, a guaranteed increased investment.
Yeah.
Ẹ wá ń bínú ẹ wá yarí mọ́ lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ kẹ́ rówó ná. Láti ọjọ́ tí YSDM bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣé ń tọwọ́ bọ owó yẹn ni? Ó ní bó ṣe jẹ́ ìgẹ́dà síbi what they actually wanted. And they think the whole Yoruba people are stupid. This is the reason why I said I need to speak on this so that the Yoruba people can understand that these guys are calling you stupid. The money is not supposed to be touched. Baba Akintoye dem must see. Baba Akintoye padà wá sọ fún Yorùbá pé because there's a way you should do these things if you want to do it like that. Ṣé ló yẹ kẹ́ padà wá sí ọmọ Yorùbá kẹ́ pé pàdé ọmọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo kiri pé tó gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá o YSDM fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ bá ṣe máa ń ṣe ń gbà kan. Kí Baba Akintoye wá sọ pé ìkan náà topic wa ni pé owó tá kí n fọwọ́ kan yẹn ẹ̀yin ọmọ mi àti dé oríta kan ò ta nídìí olówó àdẹ̀rọ yẹgẹt kẹwàá bóyá ọmọ Yorùbá ti sọ pé ó dá o kí lè fẹ́ fowó ṣe ẹ gbà o àbí àdáyé báyìí ẹ má fọwọ́ kan owó yẹn àbí ó dá ẹ lọ fọwọ́ kan owó yẹn náà wọn ṣe yẹn àwọn tó lè wá ṣe BOD tí one of the allegations tí oyè Abíóyè fi kàn wọ́n ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ kó ọmọ Yorùbá jẹ ni ó ní òun gáàdì owó yẹn ni ṣé àwọn oníṣàǹgó mo sọ fún yín àwọn yẹn sọ pé àwọn ò lè jẹ́ victim irú nǹkan báyìí because nǹkan tó yẹ ń sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ a jẹ́ pé táwọn bá tún release owó yìí fún yín ó ṣe máa wọn lára nìyẹn pé káwọn lè kó Yorùbá jẹ làwọn ṣe ní gbogbo nǹkan báyìí ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀.
àwọn sọ pé kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀.
àwa ní kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀.
àwa kò wá ní saboteur.
Oyè Abíóyè ò tí ì kú ó wà láyé Oyè Abíóyè ò tí ì kú ó wà láyé Baba Akintoye wà láyé Baba Kofoni èmi ni Arinola madam kí ló ń pè wọ́n madam Kako ó wà láyé kan lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ Láríwájú ó wà láyé ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ Chris Chris Akínbádé ní Canada nígbà tó ń pressurize Látúnjí ó wà gbogbo they are alive. I'm mentioning names èmi Abíọ́dún Òjó ló ti wà níbí.
ẹ̀dẹ̀ máa pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ láṣẹ.
ẹni kan máa ṣe pé kan máa fi àdúrà lé fúnra wọn tó bá yẹ pé gbogbo ohun tí mo sọ tí ò bá rí bó ṣe ń sọ. So what is this guy talking about? ẹ wá lọ sínú corner show kan ẹ wá lọ tí n bá gbọ́ ntí ò jẹ́ òótọ́ ní nǹkan tí mi bá mọ̀ sí gbogbo ẹ̀ ló yẹn náà.
ẹ tún jáde fún wọn.
ẹ ṣe.
kò pọ̀ mọ́ ẹ̀yin aráalé.
ok kí ni tí mo fẹ́ kà fún gbogbo yín.
lọ́jọ́
yà tá a bá ti gbọ́ tán ẹ máa kà sá.
kan so ìgbà tí bàbá dẹ̀ ti yàn mí tí mo represent bàbá I don't have to ask mo ní no mo ní you are wrong mo ní any leader ló máa ń ṣe operations gbogbo any organization mo ní pé bí n pé bàbá ti dàgbà bàbá ò lè ṣe gbogbo yẹn that's why he's not active in it. It's not that maybe money a leader needs to know everything because if the failure comes, only leader no ma gbesi. If the success comes, leader no ma gbesi. So you can't tell me.
Yes.
He's very right. A leader needs to know everything, and Baba Akintoye knows everything. At least today, if you go well, kò sí. Ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ Ọ̀túnba Adémọ́lá ẹlẹ́dàá Baba Akintoye náà dẹ̀ ń gbọ́ ẹ lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn pẹ̀lú kò sí ìṣiṣẹ́ kan tá fẹ́ gbé tí kò ní sí conference call kò sí between me and then one good thing ibi tọ́lọ́run ti kó àwa yọ dáadáa tọ́lọ́run ti make sure pé tẹ́mi ṣe wẹ̀ irú èmi ṣe wẹ̀ tí mo yẹ kẹ̀kẹ́ bàbá ò lè pe èmi nìkan kí n bá wọn there have been a couple times so pé bóyá Ọ̀túnba ọ̀ráyè wọlé tí wọ́n bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ but I never gave any definitive answer the same thing pẹ̀lú Ọ̀túnba tèmi la máa pe ara pé bàbá báyìí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ o meeting tẹnika lọ báyìí nǹkan báyìí o àwọn tẹnika báyìí nǹkan báyìí o wọn lè sọ pé kò sí kankan tó jẹ́ àbọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ ló wà noted down all of it in recorded meetings in minutes kò sí step kan kò sí ìṣiṣẹ́ kan tá a gbé tí kì í ṣe with the blessing of Baba Akintoye. He cannot tell us that he is not aware of anything, not one thing. I served him completely, totally, with honesty and with dignity and with honor. In faith. And I believe Otuba did the same thing too. Tó fi jẹ́ pé tá bá fẹ́ báyàn sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn méjèèjì náà ní lórí aago àṣebí ẹni pọ́lọ́ fún wa ní làákàyè yẹn so that kò ní sí gbọ́n mi kò ní sí báyìí ló sọ báyìí ni ó sọ So where's all this nonsense? Where's all this garbage? Answer, yes, Baba knows everything. He is aware of everything. Mo de fẹ́ sọ níwájú ọgbọ́n ọmọ Yorùbá. Baba tó yẹ wá náà àwọn tó lọ́n fún ní làákàyè tó pé dáadáa. He has no Alzheimer's. He has no dementia. His memory is intact. Ìsọ̀yé wọn, Ọlọ́run mọ̀mọ́ fún wọn ní ìsọ̀yé yẹn dájú. The motion sorry, Baba will recall every minute. Tamba fẹ́ recall with details. Attend to sorrow. I think at so. Mo test wọn débẹ̀ ni o. Mo mọ̀ because àwọn kankan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ tí mo wò pé ṣe pé tí àwọn kankan bá kọ́kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ máa wò pé Baba ti dàgbà bóyá wọn rántí mọ́ bóyá nǹkan bá ṣẹlẹ̀. Then at other times tí nǹkan bá ṣẹlẹ̀ tó máa ń point out tó pé nǹkan tó fẹ́ ni. Tó máa ń remember tó ń point àwọn nǹkan yẹn out. Ẹ máa wò pé accurately ni Baba ń recall. And then when Baba talks you the story of the Yorubas, this and every school with dates and with names, he never misses. But when situations happen where Baba has to be avoiding, when he's a little when he wants to avoid, you either get off the phone, disconnect the line, or act like he doesn't know or he cannot remember. And then I was able to, it happened countless times before Kemi Ruemi Tole make the decision where Baba's mental alertness is acute. Before I can come to the conclusion that he's not suffering from dementia or from Alzheimer's or from any kind of cognitive deficiency, it is because I observed and I tested and I confirmed all of those things. So Baba is aware of every detail of everything that happens. Once a player who is the leader must be aware. If you had participated, if you were not negligent and trying to break up the YSDM, Europe from YSDM initially, if he was not trying to sabotage your entire movement because he was losing his elections and he was co-opting Europe out of YSDM, that YSDM Kale. Europe ni YSDM Tibere. The 5 members, he was one of them to start YSDM. You can't take that away ever. But somehow, by faith, he never won any of the elections. Always being a second fiddle. And so, how are you going to come and tell us Baba was not aware? Baba was carried along all along. Sheriba Timo win the second time here to lose election. Anger and out of frustration. Because she came to me Baba pé mo ní mi ò ṣe mọ́ pé mo ń lọ. I take the blessing pé kí n máa lọ. Kí n tún káwọn pressure group mi káwọn èèyàn tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pariwo pé no, we want you there. She understand what I'm saying? The plan for the revamping, if it was Baba has a grand plan to revamp the YSDM. Timmy the chief something. We are can pause. Because mama pé ó ma task to money láti sọ. Nísìn bóyá kí n ra fi àyín yẹn lẹ̀ díẹ̀. But out of frustration, I won the second term, and because he was MP Baba full general secretary. Baba Loni Kolo, second, you understand? And I defeated him again. It was out of anger. Baba now appointed him and said, I make Emola my deputy national leader. In that statement, actually, I wanted to make Ojo my deputy national leader, but since he has decided to go for the general secretary and he has now, I guess I'm going to have to make, I make Emola will be my deputy national leader for the diaspora. Which was false information. Understand? But tí bàbá wa ń gbọ́ tèpì kọ́lé mọ̀ pé gbogbo game tó ń play láàrin ọmọ Yorùbá yẹn gbogbo ẹ̀ la gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá mọ̀ ọ́ àmọ́ ọ́ but ṣé mọ̀ ọmọdé ò kí ẹnu ọmọdé ò gba ìyá pàdé mọ́ àbí kí wọ́n máa ń sọ làwọn èèyàn fi máa ń dákẹ́. Gbàdémi kan láwa kan dẹ̀ ti wá rí pé ẹ̀tàn ló wà ní gbogbo tó kù la ṣe walk away ló ṣe fún wa lómìnira láti lè sọ nǹkan tá à ń sọ yìí. Then àwọn ọmọ tẹ́ kó sì di tó ń parọ́ káàkiri tẹ́yìn dẹ́ lè kọ́ṣọ́ wọn pé kán stop rọ́ tó ń pa yìí. You want to throw everybody under the gravel, under the bus. It's not going to mean the bad guy there. Mi ò wá láti wá rí àgbàlagbà fún un, òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ní ká má sọ ohun. Òdodo ọ̀rọ̀, especially tó bá ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ọjọ́ ọ̀la èèyàn àti record èèyàn àti honor èèyàn and dignity and the fact that you serve with honor with sincerity. One must stand up for themselves, I'm not going to let that go unanswered. If anything, Ebola ni kelo bawi. To bá tún sọ nǹkan mi. So I understand. That's the fact. That's the truth of the matter. So many people of them want to talk. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe they also have ambitions of certain things. I don't know. A meeting something from the start. I'm not looking forward to any position in Yoruba land other than the big Kagbawiri they were Okubaba to me long.
So money now you are resigning, but you want to be controlling YSDM money. Money share already. You want to resign from government, but you still want to control how the government spend their money in their departments. Money could possible now. But how does that work?
Don't control.
No. Who you bani? Who the Batababa Yoruba nation? Control it for work on what rubbish. So
a pause there. A pause there, Joe.
An officer account to me.
Ṣé gbọ́ statement tó sọ láàrin yẹn? Ẹ gbọ́ tó máa sọ pé wọn ò náwó ọmọ Yorùbá o. Ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ sí pé woman yẹn sọ pé nǹkan sọ pé wọ́n ń jà pé ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ fọwọ́ kan owó yìí pé ẹ sọ fún mi pé ọmọ Yorùbá. Tẹni tá ẹ sọ pé wọn ò ní fọwọ́ kàn ní. The same owó ọmọ Yorùbá tí oyè Abíóyè ti ń sọ fún wọn pé nítorí pé wọ́n fẹ́ náwó Yorùbá yẹn làwọn pípì ṣe rẹ́sù àkáǹtì yẹn kò lọ́wọ́ wọn. The same people tó ń try to protect owó yẹn sìn lọ́ ń sọ fún yín pé owó ọmọ Yorùbá ni wàá sọ pé àníná o pé so we have to protect it o ló ń sọ pé what ṣẹgbọ́
bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir
ó ń sọ pé what rubbish intent kí ni nǹkan tí yẹn mean nǹkan tó mean ni pé kì í ṣe pé àwọn fẹ́ dọwọ́ bọ̀ àwọn fẹ́ ná owó yẹn ni so don't tell us rubbish we're going to spend it.
Yeah.
Now ẹ wá listen see the next thing tó máa sọ bí tó ẹ máa gbọ́ tó máa sọ fún yín pé àwọn ò náwó yẹn wà ní àkáǹtì ẹnìkan gbé àkáǹtì jáde. ẹ play statement ẹ play.
Okay.
Ìyẹn ló wá ń ká wọn lára ọwọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń pariwo kiri wọ́n ti gbowó yẹn o wọ́n ti ná o wọ́n ti ṣe gíní o that money is still in the bank nobody touched any penny of it.
ẹ pause ẹ.
But
Èmi Abiodun Ojomo Ansonsin Emola, if you're sure the money is still in the bank, release the statement for the Yoruba people. It's not your money. It's not Babakitoye's money. It's not Abiodun Ojo's money. It's not my father's money. It is Yoruba's money. Tani won gbọ́dọ̀ fọwọ́ kàn EGBE jáde. Release the statement. Let the Yoruba people see it. That's a challenge. Otherwise, please keep your mouth quiet and remain silent forever.
Yep.
That's it.
Yes.
Ati Chris Akingbade, ati Madam Olariwaju. These are the people, these are the architects of how the money disappeared. Orúkọ wọn wà ńbẹ̀. Chris Akingbade, Canada. Olariwaju Olatuji, she's part of it. Babakitoye, Emola, so if release the account, let the Yoruba people see it, publish it. EGBE conference ọmọ Yorùbá, EGBE so the screen, let the Yoruba see the current statement of that bank, of that account. And then I promise you that I'll be silent on your matters after that. Don't worry about what me to quick. Let's show statement in month to month. I see.
Show. Èmi ò lọ́wọ́ lady kan ní US. Wọ́n lọ ṣe.
Èmi ló ń pè ní lady, orí ẹ̀ ti gbálẹ̀.
Ṣé à ń sọ fọ́tọ̀?
Wọ́n máa sọ fún mi, ó mọ̀.
Má balẹ̀ gbọ́ gbogbo fúgbà bí Ẹ̀mọ̀lá jáde kó wá sọ̀rọ̀. Ọ̀nà bàbá ní don't answer those people. Wọ́n ò ní nǹkan ṣe. Wọ́n bá ní nǹkan ṣe they will there.
Ẹ pọ̀ sẹ̀, àwọn ní nǹkan ṣe, àwa ní nǹkan ṣe.
Orí ẹ̀ ti.
Láti ṣe dárúgbẹ́ báyìí.
Ó lọ wo rẹ́kọ̀dù wa.
Alájẹ Yorùbá Global Talk Show ló sọ̀rọ̀. Èmi Òjó Abíọ́dún ni mo wà lórí ìkànnì tí mo ní sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹni wọn nìkan ṣe nobody pay them no mind. Ọ̀sìn pay attention gbogbo tí mo kà kalẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ yẹn. Gbàtẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe rally lórí torí ipa sọ̀rọ̀ ń bì ni. Gbàtẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe diplomatic passport. Tẹ̀ short tí ò lọ bìkan lórí bí ilẹ̀ ti gbẹnu dákẹ́. Gbàtẹ́ fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ rúbà tí ò ṣe lórí ìkànnì ilẹ̀ ti gbẹnu dákẹ́. Gbàtẹ́ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ diplomatic ẹ fẹ́ máa rin àwọn diplomats káàkiri àwọn gbogbo àgbáláyé gbogbo ẹ fẹ́ máa sanwó ẹ máa san livelihood wọn ẹ máa san àwọn kankan tẹ fẹ́ máa sanwó wọn lábúrò káàkiri one diplomatic.
Lobby tí a tó fẹ́ ṣe ń gbà yẹn.
Gbàtẹ́ tó fẹ́ ṣe lobby torí pa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí platform ilẹ̀ ṣe lè ṣe gbogbo rọ́tẹ̀ ń pa káàkiri. What else are you talking about? That's the only reason. Because Biodun ò ní pa náà mọ́ Ìyálájẹ ò ní dákẹ́ láti mọ́ gbé jáde. This is the reason why you kept quiet. And that's the reason why just this week, somebody as close, like not to Baba Akintoye, called me, plead and prayed that I should be quiet.
Yeah.
It is because of this show. Once nobody is listening. Nobody is hearing. No, when has the YSDM, you're the deputy national leader diaspora, you're supposed to know how this functions. Why has the last, yes, come on, but there are occasions periodically, at least on a 3-month basis, you will see what is it, a Zoom link that goes out to the leader wants to talk to Yoruba people, update on what's going on. Ṣé ńgbà tó lóye padà sí inú politics kò yẹ kẹ́ pé ọmọ Yorùbá kẹsàn-án kan fún wọn bí tí rally dé bàtí wọ́n pa àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri nísìnyí. There's no, none of this is happening. You're not even giving. So why don't you call a Yoruba council meeting or a Yoruba general meeting? Because council meeting, because there's a executive meeting, there's a council meeting, and there's a Yoruba general meeting. The Yoruba general meeting is what I'm talking about. Call the Yoruba general meeting. Tó pé ẹnìkan kan ní láti ṣe ẹgbẹ́ kan because èmi ò ṣe ẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá kankan mọ́. Ọlọ́run mọ̀ sílẹ̀. Ẹ pé Yorùbá general meeting kẹ́ni kí mi ò bá wá síbẹ̀ kí n gbójú mi jáde kí wọ́n á béèrè kọ́ṣẹ́ pè mí lọ́mọ àlè. Mọ ẹni ẹ nílé irú èmi gan wà nítorí ṣó yín lẹ̀ ṣe lè pe general meeting Yorùbá mọ́. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ̀yin ọmọ kóòtù òjìrè. Ṣé rí nǹkan táwọn ọ̀tọ̀kùlú wa? Èmi wà náà tó ti bú wọn rí tí mo ti fẹ́ máa lẹ ṣépè láwọn olówó ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí mo rò pé wọ́n sì dá wa dá, wọ́n sì wò wá ràn. Èmi wà náà àwọn kan tí mo rò pé àwọn ọba wa kan bí wọ́n dá sí wa. Ṣé nǹkan báyìí náà ọmọ Yorùbá ní àwọn ọba Yorùbá tó lórúkọ tó ní kànnì tí ó mọ̀ dá sí? Èmi tán ní kí n gbé tí mo pe ọba kan tí mo sọ fún yín pé mo ní tí kábíyèsí yìí tó bá ti wà lẹ́yìn lókè abẹ́ ṣe yìí mo ní ìgbà tọ́lọ́run ti wà lẹ́yìn ni a ní láti mẹnu gbó bí ọmọ Israeli or 40 days to lọ bí 40 years. Mo ní ẹja ká wọ́n gbé mi sórí scale wọn padà jọ́kẹjọ wọ́n èwo jọ́kẹjọ ti padà kò tí ì pé bí a dá ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ẹ wá ń parọ́ tọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri ilé ayé. You know me? I was like, nobody cares about them. Crowd. No, you're the one that's afraid of this platform. I will need that MSA can shut me down. Lori kani tí ó ṣe ṣe.
Yeah.
Ṣe láṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
They're lying. You lied in just 1 minute of your statement. Sọ pé what's rubbish? Ó sọ pé wọ́n ní pé ọmọ Yorùbá tàn gbọ́dọ̀ fọwọ́ kan wọ́n sọ pé what's rubbish? In the same token wọ́n ní pé wọn kò sẹ́ni tó náwó Yorùbá. Meanwhile, that was the reason why people get frustrated and left. You know? Yeah. The reason why you took the account and stole it and stole the money in there. Because stealing that pé mi rò pé gba council permission láti náwó. Inú ẹ̀ let's sọ pé kó lóye gba $2,500 àbí $2,000.
Okay.
Inú ẹ̀ let's send owó $2,000 àbí $2,500 sí Architect George Akinola. I have all of those information. You don't think I know? Àbí ṣàpò owó ẹ̀ náà inú ọ̀pọ̀ inú àkáǹtì tiẹ̀ ló ti mú owó yẹn jáde. Ẹ bá jẹ́ sọ nǹkan bí o. Àbí Architect George Akinola wà ń bẹ̀ ṣé ó sọ pé òun ò gbowó ni? Olóyè mo mọ ẹnìkan tó sọ fún pé kó má gba owó yẹn tó dáwọ́ yẹn padà. Ẹnìkan tó pè pé kán ní kó gba owó yẹn wọ́n dọ́gbọ́n send it another way. You guys are talking garbage. You want people to start talking. You want people to really start exposing your idiocy to the world. I just can damn on there. I'm glad you met Soko, Timmy Tiff Soko.
Ẹ ṣeun gan ni sir. Ẹ kú ohùn Dr. Abiodun Ojo. Ọpọlọ yín kò ní dọ́bà. Ẹ ṣe bí ẹ ṣe bá wa yànnà náà. Bàbá ẹ ṣé gan ni.
Mo lè dá sí.
Ẹ bá wa dá sí sir, yes.
Yeah, mo ti kọ kínní ó ti pẹ́ just about àwọn jẹgúdújẹrá nílẹ̀ Áfíríkà, and it's relevant to what the topic we are saying today. Pé àwọn wá síbà ní ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ is part of in academics we say community development services. So kì í ṣe pé bóyá ní nǹkan tá a máa ṣe la fi ń wá bíbá ẹ̀. Wọ́n ní mọ òtítọ́ yóò sì sọ yín di òmìnira. So the topic of my write-up is called My Take on Looters and Misappropriators of Our Commonwealth in Africa, including any organization. So it goes thus. I can't just imagine someone bearing or sharing surname with one of these rogues and only. These are senseless animals, complete disgrace to the black race, new slave traders and new colonialists of Africa, the prodigal sons and daughters of Africa, clogs in the wheel of progress of human race, complete nuisance of a civilized and progressive society, oppressors of the needy, betrayers of trust of the common people, notorious criminals against humanity. They all continue to eat but never be satisfied. Yoruba will say, báwo ṣe ohun èpè kì í múni. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹni tó bá ṣe ohun èpè ńkọ́, onítọ̀hún ti gba ibú sórí ara rẹ̀. Àfàìmọ̀ tí onítọ̀hún ti fi orí ara rẹ̀ gba ibú. They forcibly and cunningly steal salaries, pensions, entitlements of others, owó ọ̀yà, unknown to them that the stolen money has become money of sorrow for them, owó ìyà. The Judas and Iscariot of our time, it might have been better if they are not born at all. Yoruba will pray, àákórè oko délé, ṣùgbọ́n ní tiwọn èrè àti ojúlówó ilẹ̀ abínibí wọn ni wọ́n ń kó lọ sókè òkun lọ síta. They are siphoning stolen money out of lands of our common ancestors to be spent on non-economic, unprofitable ventures abroad, thereby inflicting artificial, unnecessary hardship on their fellow citizens, the rightful descendants of our great ancestors. Now, how can the spirits of our ancestors be kind to them? How can the creator of us all be happy with such self-centered individuals? If there's a political entity called Africa in the land beyond, where our continent's genuine political founding fathers who have gone there before us are gathered now, watching from celestial Africa the current affairs of terrestrial Africa, will their spirit be blessing or causing these unworthy, greedy, unscrupulous, prodigal sons and daughters of Africa? Thank you.
Wow. Gbòòsà fún bàbá wa Professor ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àgbà. Ẹ kú ohùn sir. Ẹ ṣeun gan ni.
I always like to listen to your write-ups. I thought I was a good writer, but when I listen to your compositions, Baba,
ẹ ṣeun gan ni sir. Torí àsìkò wa, àmọ́ bóyá àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ dá sí a fi ìṣẹ́jú.
Ayé wa lè lọ sí second topic nísìnyí mo ti yan náà ràn yín. You understand? Because mo pé ó dàbí Prof Mura, the other, àwọn kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lé yẹn náà mo pé ara ẹ̀.
Yes, mo ní right up on that, but ó gùn díẹ̀ mi torí time wa.
Àbẹ̀yà kádẹ̀ wá sọ yẹn tó di.
A lè sọ di next. So nǹkan tá a kà fẹ́ sọ nípa yẹn ni pé wọ́n ń pa àwọn èèyàn wa. Níbo ni àwọn tó máa gbà wá sílẹ̀, níbo ni wọ́n wà? Àwọn ọba wa, níbo ni wọ́n wà? Àwọn politicians wa, níbo ni wọ́n wà? Àwọn alágbára wa, níbo ni wọ́n wà tí wọ́n sì ń pa ọmọ Yorùbá? Tẹ́ẹ̀sì rí nǹkan kan ṣe. Ǹjẹ́ ó wa tọ́? Òfin 6 ó sọ wípé ìwọ kò gbọdọ̀ pànìyàn. Òfin 8 sọ pé ìwọ kò gbọdọ̀ jalè, àti ráwọn tó ń jalè nísìn. Wọ́n kó ọmọ Yorùbá jẹ. Ìwọ kò gbọdọ̀ pànìyàn. Wọ́n ń pa àwọn ènìyàn, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn olórí ẹ̀sìn wa, àwọn olórí ìjọba wa, wọn à dá sí. Ǹjẹ́ èyí á tọ́? Wọ́n ń ta ẹ̀jẹ̀ ọmọ aláìlẹ́ṣẹ̀ sílẹ̀, a sì dákẹ́. Wọ́n sọ pé ẹni tó bá mọ rere ṣe tí kò ṣe, ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni fún un. Dídákẹ́ tẹ́ dákẹ́ yìí, àwọn ò dá yín lẹ́jọ́, ṣùgbọ́n kò tọ̀nà. Nítorí náà ẹ dìde, gbogbo ẹ̀yin olórí ẹ̀sìn, olórí ìlú, olórí tẹ́ jẹ́ aṣíwájú, ẹ dìde. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ ohun, ká condemn tó ń lọ ní orílẹ̀-èdè wa. Ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù. Dídákẹ́ tá a dákẹ́ yìí, Olúwa á bi wá o, bá fẹ́ bá kọ̀, tá a sì dá sí. Torí tá a bá sọ̀rọ̀ síta, àwọn tó wà níjọba, àwọn èèyàn náà ni, àwọn tá a yàn síbẹ̀ náà ni. Nítorí náà láti ojúlé dé ojúlé, starting from councillors, members of House of State House of Assembly, ẹ dìde, ẹ tako irú ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ yìí. Ẹni tí ò bá sì fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ kó kúrò ńbẹ̀. Tó bá sì ṣe gómìnà náà ni ò fẹ́ kí kíní yìí ó dáwọ́ dúró, ẹ dìbò láti kó fipò sílẹ̀. Olódùmarè á bí ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wa ohun tá a gbélé ayé ṣe. Tí wọ́n sì ń pa ọmọ aláìlẹ́ṣẹ̀, ẹ sì dákẹ́. Nítorí náà, torí àkókò ìjọba àkókò, wọ́n dákẹ́ ní bíbà, a máa bá ètò yẹn lọ ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀, tí Olúwa bá sọ pé òkú ló ń sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ ṣeun.
Ẹ ṣeun gan ni. Ní àkọ́kọ́, ẹ bá mi gbé gbòòsà fún àwọn bàbá wa méjèèjì. Mo rí àwọn aráalé ń kí yín, máa ń gbádùn gbogbo àwọn kọ́mẹ̀ntì àwọn ìyá wa wọ̀nyí. Ẹ ṣeun lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Tí ẹ bá wo ojú fọ́nrán wa yìí, ẹ máa rí Nnamdi Kanu. Kí Elédùmarè kó jọ̀wọ́ kó máa bá wa pamọ́, kó dáàbò bò níbi tó bá wà. A lè pè é ní wòlíì, ó ti rí gbogbo kinní láti 2014. Ẹ jẹ́ ká yọ 2014 kúrò ní 2026. Ó ti sọ̀rọ̀ sílẹ̀, ó wá ń ṣe. Ọ̀rọ̀ ọjọ́ mi ní torí ìjọba àsìkò. Inú mi dùn pé àwọn nǹkan tá a gbọ́ tí àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n bá wa yànnàná ẹ̀yàn, inú mi dùn, ara mi yá torí ó yé wa. Arákùnrin tó ń pera ẹ̀ ní tí wọ́n ń pè ní Káyọ̀dé Ẹ̀mọ̀lá.
Ìyá alájẹ ẹ má bínú, mo fọwọ́ àtọmọdé yín lẹ́nu, ẹ ní láti pè kó wá sórí ìkànnì tó bá tó wù kó sọ nǹkan míì tó jẹ́ rọ́ dà.
Okay sir.
Ó ní àwọn ìkànnì tó lọ tó ti lọ ń parọ́ ṣẹ́gẹ́ tí n bá tún gbọ́ tàbí tí n bá gbẹ́ níbọ̀dì tó ń sọ irọ́, ẹ mọ̀ pé máa pè yín. Ọlọ́run ti fi ìkànnì eléyìí jíǹkì, ó ti fi jíǹkì. Ó ní bọ́lọ́run ṣe máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ o. Tí ìbá ṣe show yìí, I will have been long forgotten. Bàbá tí o máa ń sọ kí ni ẹ pé don't worry, it's gonna just fade away. Èmi ò ju Abíọ́dún mo kọ̀ mi ò fade away. Thanks to Iyalaje Yoruba talk show. Inú kan ló sì fà á. Inú kan ló fa orí ìkànnì. So if they like, no, Emola doesn't have to come over here. I mean, because he cannot comprehend.
Èmi ò ti fẹ́ kó wá síbí sir.
Kò lè comprehend nǹkan kan. He does not understand. This is somebody who came into council. The first time to come out, were very active in the council. But don't fish a deputy national leader diaspora. People were coming and they were talking. I want to bring a grievance, but I say at the party revamping by then some people talk. I finish up the Yoruba land. It was a Lagos issue. Now look, I understand representatives from Lagos. So our factions still want pay be meji, you get? They're bringing legitimate issue and bringing it to council. And the guy presented what by every standard is a motion. Because apparently they would not be able to resolve it. So the council was supposed to step in and make a determination and review, or even maybe set up a committee to look into that matter so they can resolve it. After the guy have finished speaking, you want to dictate to people. He's somebody who cannot understand. He record one bed. It's a recorded. It's a conference, virtual conference meeting. But the man record go to say let me record me save. Well, I mean, more like was a point of observation. Isn't that a motion? Somebody is talking. You're not even living in Lagos. The people that are on the ground are telling you this is happening, and they're raising a genuine issue as to I understand. All they're talking in Katon Fe. What they want to say in Katon. And then, aside from the fact that he's taking the unilateral authority as the whole entire council, that's when listen, he is not able to comprehend anything. Instance, and can make determination. There was issue between the UK and America. So, information don't be lost. I understand. See, UK groups and Europe was completely different from what is actually taking place. And from what took place. You know, director is talking. Very wrong information. Isn't he supposed to educate these people? But when I start to pay attention to what he's saying too, it's like he doesn't even understand the details of what actually took place, what transpired. He was my deputy secretary. He was my assistant secretary when I was the general secretary there. You expect him to follow, he doesn't understand. So why do you want to bring him over here? Only to come and say, because you want to patch and, mago and answer questions. These are the type of people that Baba likes to work with. People that cannot ask questions, people that cannot really think right. Only there are no intelligentsias that will join this. No intelligentsias. And when you see people that will ask questions, people that are sharp and bright, Baba never really wants to work with them. Even architect Akinola, it was by force. By hook and crook. Not say force, Baba. Not say force architect is long. Because architect was already gone from YSDM. He already created a parallel organization to the YSDM. And we told Baba then, I want him, Baba, I want Baba at the time. This is what is going, this is what's happening. Baba, he's going to fade away like nothing. What to fade away by? You live in the reality now. The YSDM is living the reality of the things that I told them in truth. It is happening now. A living existence. I need that pay another show.
Ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà, àwọn ará ilé ń kí yín, mò ń bọ̀ wá, ẹ jẹ́ kí a kọ́ fi àsìkò yìí kí a kàn sáré sọ nǹkan ẹyọ kan sí àbí méjì. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí bàbá wa sọ pé àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n pàdánù ẹ̀mí wọn, èní yìí ni wọ́n fi eérú fún eérú, yèèpẹ̀ fún àwọn olùkọ́ méjèèjì yẹn. Ó ṣeni láàánú lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ọlọ́run kó jọ̀wọ́ kó bá wa tu àwọn ẹbí wọn nínú, àwọn òbí, aya àti àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n fi sílẹ̀. Ọlọ́run kó jọ̀wọ́, òun nìkan ló lè tù wọ́n nínú, kó jọ̀ọ́ kó bá wa tù wọ́n nínú. A máa tẹ̀síwájú nípa apá kejì lórí ètò yìí, ètò ààbò ètò jíjínigbé tó ó ń burú sí gan ni, ó ń peléke sí gan ni. Kàkà kó sàn lára ọmọ ìyá àjẹ́, níṣe ló tún ṣe kí ni? Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. So fúdìí ó ṣe ni láàánú lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìkejì, orí ìkànnì yìí Elédùmarè ló gbé lélẹ̀. Èmi ò dẹ̀ fagagbága pẹ̀lú ẹnikẹ́ni. Mo dúpẹ́ bó ṣe wù Ọlọ́run ló máa ń ṣe ọlá ẹ̀. Àsìkò ní gbogbo nǹkan ní ayé yìí. Mo dúpẹ́ ìdí nìyẹn ní gbogbo ìgbà. Ẹlẹ́dàá mi ó máa ń súre fún Dr. Abiodun Ojo. Ó máa ń súre fún bàbá Professor àti Dr. Ọlábánjí. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin alátìlẹ́yìn mi, èmi kọ́ lẹ̀ ń tìlẹ́yìn o, bí kò ṣe ọba adẹ́dàá ṣẹ̀dá. Elédùmarè ọba tó dá mi, tó ṣẹ̀dá mi, tó mọ̀ bí gbogbo ìrìn àjò ayé mi bó ṣe máa rí. Èmi kọ́ ló ń fi ẹnu àtẹ́ kọ́ ló fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí. So mo àfilẹ̀ fún Ọlọ́run, òun nìkan ló mọ ẹjọ́ dá, ó dẹ̀ máa dà fún oníkálukú. Ṣé rí ara nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn? Bí gbogbo ẹ ṣe dà lénìí ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ara kéèyàn máa ní àfojúdi, kéèyàn máa ṣe tẹ̀m̀bẹ̀lẹ̀kun, kéèyàn máa dìtẹ̀, kéèyàn máa parọ́, kò réèyàn tó ń parọ́ kẹ́dẹ̀ máa fọwọ́, kẹ́ máa fi àdín, kẹ́ máa fi pá lórí. Ara nǹkan tó sún wa débi tá a dé lónìí nìyẹn ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Torí pé tí kì í bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, ta ni wọ́ Káyọ̀dé ẹ mọ̀la? Ta ni?
Ẹ wo, mi rò pé kẹ́ má respond sí.
Àtàwọn yòókù bẹ́ẹ̀ náà tí mo lè dárúkọ.
Torí ẹ má respond sí. Ó ní pé àwọn kan wá kíní, ó ti gbàgbé pé àwa sápamọ́ títí orí tiwa ò gbé wa sápamọ́ ni. Àárín kọ̀kọ̀ títí. Orí wa ní orin kọ̀kọ̀ lórí ìkànnì.
Celebrating.
Ó dífá fún àpáta tó mú joyè ojúde. Àwọn sápamọ́ níbi kankan orí ni orí àtúrà láti dọ́jì orí gbẹ̀wà síta. Ṣé tó àwa yín ẹ̀yin lẹ́ ń wá sórí èèyàn yín mọ̀lá ni àti àwọn irọ́ tẹ́ ń gbára yín gbogbo irọ́ tẹ́ ń pa tẹ̀lé irọ́ tí ò gbà tí ò gbé òwú lẹ̀. You understand? Yeah, and it is because of this show tẹ́ ṣe rí irọ́ mọ́ pa tọmọ Yorùbá. Okùn tẹ́ fi ọmọ Yorùbá lọ́rùn orí ìkànnì ló ti ń tú o. Ó tọ́ ni mo sọ fún yín yẹn, orí ìkànnì nothing to. Otherwise, they will have been fooling so many men. That's why hello len rí race inú ẹgbẹ́ yín mọ́ nísìn. Gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ káàkiri. Wọ́n gbé títí tí wọ́n mọ̀ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ dù. Tó fi dé gbogbo Yorùbá ẹ mọ̀, àwọn kan wá káàkiri borí at the end of the day, just this past week. Àtúntò parí ọwọ́ pé àwọn fẹ́ ṣe launch fẹ́ ṣe rally ìrọ̀wọ́ ni. So tí wàá múlẹ̀ báyìí gbogbo ẹ̀, at the end of the day, they're looking for money because they exhausted all of that money. And then not only the money, Sherry owó ó ṣe replace èlò ní owó, but what they have exhausted also is the trust of the Yoruba people. Yeah. So when you already damage the trust of the people, where is the money going to come from? Enter gbàgbé orísun yín. Odò yín ó ti gbàgbé orísun ẹ̀. Ó gbẹ ẹ wá ń jakuru káàkiri. Ó ti gbàgbé ni tí ò bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ kóòdù tó ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ ibo ló bá sí. Àbáwọn èèyàn gbàgbé.
Gbàgbé sá.
Ọlọ́run Sherry, God has given us talents and God has given some people very good memories. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tẹ́ náwó káàkiri tán tẹ́ ń wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ti fẹ́ ṣe ẹ lọ lè kí mọ́ àwọn ọmọ Igbo tẹ́ sá fún. Ẹ tún wá lọ rí issue fraudulent statement pé Nnamdi náà bá yín sáyìn sí. Ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ code lórí gbẹ́rú pólé ìfẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ security. You know, who are the people say, who are you lying to? What is that for? Just because ẹ fẹ́ káwọn ọmọ Yorùbá máa dáwó sí.
Kò sí tó jọ.
Ṣé get? Ọmọ Yorùbá máa dáwó sí. The same. So when you talk, you have to understand that some of us know how to listen.
That's right.
Somebody like me, I listen, I pay attention. Bí tọ́lọ́n tó wá mú yín jù, ní pé Ọlọ́run tó wá fún mi ní rẹ́kọ̀dù yín. I've worked with you guys. I can almost predict how you think, and I've seen what you've said. I have records of how you've acted. I have, so what there's nothing you can, I mean, I don't know, it's just a waste of time.
Mo kàn ní àbí akọni iṣẹ́ mọ̀ kó má dàbí bẹ̀t mo ní láti èmi náà ní láti.
Most of the time, he knows. I mean, they know that they listen to this show. They're listening to this show, and that's why they've been able to stop in their tracks. Otherwise, wọ́n ti gbé Yorùbá World Media jáde, wọ́n ti gbé jingle oríṣiríṣi jáde. Another jingle tó ń gbé jáde nísìnyí against June nọ́mbà káàkiri òṣèlú nìyẹn, èmi ò ṣe náà ti sọ̀rọ̀ lọ gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn àwọn olóṣèlú ní gbogbo yẹn, èmi ò dẹ̀ ṣòṣèlú ń tèmi. Ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ò ṣèṣèlú. June 5 gbogbo jingle yẹn ti jáde, àwọn tí ó ṣòṣèlú ẹ máa ṣe èso, èmi ò blame Ọlọ́run kú mọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run ṣe rinú mi. Mi ń lòdì sí omi ò kọyìn sẹ́nìkan tó ń ṣe òṣèlú nítorí bá ṣe náà ṣe fúnra wọn lọ yẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n àdúrà tèmi níwájú Ọlọ́run tọ́lọ́run sì jẹ́ kó ṣẹ ní pé wọ́n gba ìjọba yìí. So ibi tẹ́tí ìṣòṣèlú yìí mú fẹ́ rí. Ẹ máa palẹ̀ mọ́ òṣèlú tẹ̀sí. Ara ẹni gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tó ń pa nílé tí ò jọ yín lójú yìí. Wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn pakúpa. Wọ́n understand. Look at what is happening in our land. This is the way, and these people are actually the ones that have brought us to this stage.
Mo rí comment kan tí ìyàwó akọ nǹkan tẹ̀ sọ yìí, ìyàwó kan náà àwọn ìyàwó, yes. They're
killing our people. They're all like this. And this is not about Fulani or Igbo. It's not about Fulani. Ẹgbẹ́ Yankee wá sí Nàìjíríà. Ṣé wọ́n ti gbà wá lábàá ẹ̀? Ṣé ní lè tàn rí? Késekése là ń rí. Ṣé pé awífún ni kó tó dání? Ọba àjàgàdì ni. Mo ní kò síbi táwọn pípù lọ. Tí kì í ṣe ẹkún ìpàyín kékeré ló pẹ̀yìn bọ̀. Ẹ wo késeké kí náà ń gbé náà láṣẹ ń rí. Ọjọ́ ọ̀nà débẹ̀ náà, ṣe ti rí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. You're gonna find out. You're going to learn, according to Black man, you're going to learn the hard way. May our people not learn the hard way. I pray that it doesn't happen. Mo ṣe ń gbàdúrà pé kíákíá kọ́lọ́n kó tètè parí iṣẹ́ kó fún wa ní dábìlì.
Àmín.
Àmín.
Ṣé rí kọ́mẹ̀ntì kan nínú kọ́mẹ̀ntì ìyàwó ìkan náà àwọn ìyàwó and then ìkejì ìyàwó yìí náà sọ pé àwọn èèyàn púpọ̀ ni wọ́n ti pàdánù ẹ̀mí wọn nínú ìrìn àjò tó tọ́ kí Ọlọ́run kó jọ̀wọ́ kó bá wa dẹlẹ̀ rere fún wọn. Ó ṣe ní láàánú pé àwọn mìíràn wọn ò ní ẹ̀rí ọkàn. Ó máa ń dára kéèyàn ní ẹ̀rí ọkàn. Ó dẹ̀rọ tí àtúnbọ̀tán tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ kò ní. So ẹ ṣeun gan ni. Ẹ kú ohùn, adúpẹ́dúpẹ́ o. Fún ẹ̀yin aráalé, ẹ̀yin ìyá wa, ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, adúpẹ́, adúpẹ́ pé òkun, adúpẹ́ amóore o. Ẹ kú àdúrótì, ẹ kú àtàárọ̀. Tẹ́ bá rí ní èní apẹ́ díẹ̀ ní orí ètò tí alẹ́ yìí, ó dẹ̀ ṣe kókó ṣe pàtàkì. A ní láti mọ àwọn nǹkan kan torí èní yìí kọ́ torí ọ̀la, torí pé bí bàbá wa ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, wọ́n ní sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ kó rántí ẹni tó mọ̀ gbọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣọ́ra torí gbogbo ohun tí ẹ̀yin àti èmi tá à ń ṣe ní èní, ìtàn ló máa dà ní ọ̀la. So ó kù sí oníkálukú lọ́wọ́. À ń gbà ládùúrà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ilé àti ọ̀nà ẹ̀yin àti èmi kò ní dàrú. Elédùmarè ó máa pa àlọ́ àti àbọ̀ wa mọ́. Ẹ ṣeun lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, àjọṣe wa kò ní bàjẹ́ o. Ẹ kú ìfẹ́, ẹ kú àdúrótì. Ẹ má gbàgbé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, ẹ bá wa pín ètò tí a lè ní. Ní orí YouTube channel mi, Fúnkẹ́ Ìyálájé Global. Fúnkẹ́ Ìyálájé Global. Èmi ni. Mo wá fi àsìkò yìí, mo fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá wa ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àgbà, Professor KOFOWOROLA AARINOLA, ọmọ wọn ní Ìlọ́ra. Bàbá mi mo wà ní orí ìkúnlẹ̀. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun, ẹ ṣeun lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ẹ ṣeun, mi ò lè dúpẹ́ tán o. Elédùmarè, ó máa bá mi dúpẹ́ ní ọ̀dọ̀ yín o. Gbogbo àwọn tó tẹ̀lé Yorùbá dó, wọ́n máa bá mi ṣe alátìlẹyìn yín.
Àmín.
Ní ìgbà kankan, ẹ máa jáde láyọ̀, ẹ máa wọlé láyọ̀. Agbára àwọn òkùnkùn kò ní ká yín lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ẹ ṣeun. Mo dúpẹ́. Ọjọ́ tẹ́bí bá ń palẹ̀ ẹ̀ ní sí nílé, ọjọ́ tẹ́bí bá ń pọ̀nà ẹ̀ ní rìn lọ́nà o. Àbọ̀ Ọlọ́run lórí yín àti lórí gbogbo ohun ìní yín o. Ẹ ṣeun. Àdúpẹ́. Mo wá lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, bàbá mi. Mo wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀. Mo ti máa tún sọ ní ọjọ́ mìíràn torí ìjọba àsìkò inú kan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ta ló mọ̀ wípé ní èní ní àsìkò kábíyèsí ó dá kéèyàn máa bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run ó dá kéèyàn máa ṣe bíntín báyìí ní ayé tí ẹ bá ń gbọ́ pé bíntín ní ayé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tó ojú rere àti àánú Ọlọ́run kò ní fi í sílẹ̀ ní ìgbà kankan tó Abíọ́dún Òjó bàbá ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀nà yín á túbọ̀ máa là kedere báyìí ni gbogbo ọjà tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ lórí àwọn ọmọ yín Elédùmarè ó ti mú lọ sílé ìmúṣẹ o èmi ń sọ̀rọ̀ àṣẹ sínú ayé yín ni o Elédùmarè ọba tó láyé tó ní ọ̀run ó máa dúró tì yín gbọ̀ngbọ̀n báyìí òkè gbọ̀ngbọ̀n lókè ó máa dúró tì yín ojú òní tì yín àìrídìí òkun àìrídìí ọ̀ṣà ọmọ aráyé ò ní rídìí yín lágbára Èdùmarè ayé ipa àwọn ẹni bí kò ní ká yín o kò ní ká kankan nínú ohun tí ń ṣe tiyín gbogbo ohun tí ń ṣe tiyín Ọlọ́run á bá mi ṣe ní àṣepé o ojú òní ẹ ní mọ̀kòrò ẹ ní fìnira lògbà láṣẹ Elédùmarè ẹ ṣe gidigidi kan ni o lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí alátìlẹ́yìn ọ̀run àtayé màmá bá mi ṣe alátìlẹ́yìn yìí ẹ ṣe mo dúpẹ́ ẹ bá wa kí àwọn aráalé o ká tó máa lọ.
adúgbò lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run kọ́lọ́run kó tì wá lẹ́yìn tá a fi pàdé bàbá ẹgbẹ́ àgbà ó dánwó yín sá.
ẹ ṣeun ẹ̀yin ènìyàn wa a dúpẹ́ fún ìfarabalẹ̀ yín láti bí wákàtí mẹ́ta àbí.
ọmọ ó ti fẹ́ pé wákàtí mẹ́ta ọmọ sí.
a dúpẹ́ tí ẹ farabalẹ̀ a rò pé a ti rí ẹ̀kọ́ kan tàbí méjì kọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí ìwà rere ìwà ọmọlúàbí tí ó jẹ́ ti Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ kó jẹ́ ìpín wa ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ òtítọ́ wọn ní bá a sọ òtítọ́ à á kú bá a sì sọ ọ̀run là ń lọ kí wá ní tá a ṣe sọ òtítọ́ náà nítorí náà ẹ jẹ́ kí ìwà ọmọlúàbí ká máa rí ní inú ìwà àti ìṣe wa nígbà gbogbo Olúwa yóò ràn wá lọ́wọ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní bàjẹ́ àwọn alálẹ̀ wọn mọ̀ tì wá lẹ́yìn wọn à ní tì wá lójú iṣẹ́ wa yóò máa lọ déédéé a ó máa tà a ó máa jèrè a ó máa bóde pàdé títí di ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ ire o ire kàbìtì ẹ ṣeun.
ẹ bá mi kí àwọn ọmọ mi àwọn ìyá wa gbogbo pé wọ́n ṣe é gbọ́lé ẹ bá wa kí gbogbo lé ẹ ṣe é gbọ́lé sà ẹ ṣe sà gbogbo lé ó dòwúrọ̀ ó tún di ọjọ́ ìsinmi ọjọ́ Sunday láṣẹ Èdùmàrè ẹ bá wa kí gbogbo lé o ó dòwúrọ̀.